Warrior Lore. Chapter 1194. An Emperor Joins. Chapter 1194. An Emperor Joins. Proofreader. Papatonks. Chu Qingcheng lowered her head, depressed, looking at her sword with a sigh. Senior sisters are wrong about me. I'm no killer. They have the treasure and might meet other mean people. Chu Qingcheng started and spoke to her spiritual sword. Cerulean, we have to protect senior sisters, but you have to behave and not kill whenever. You have to listen. Or, Chu Qingcheng's voice drifted, not knowing how to threaten her rampant spiritual sword, or I'll just get another one. Ding! The sword slightly shook in ridicule. You call that a threat? Besides, that wasn't me. So why are you threatening me? Humph. The oblivious Chu Qingcheng was deaf to her spiritual sword. Of course, looking relieved as she chased after her senior sisters. Save me. Someone save me. A sudden cry reached her ears. Shriek. She also heard the sharp shriek of a bird. Chu Qingcheng looked back in panic. 100-meter big bird, covered in blue flames, was holding a man in its beak. 8th level spiritual beast. Firestorm Eagle? Chu Qingcheng shouted. How did this guy end up caught by a spiritual beast like this? Cerulean, let's go save him. Chu Qingcheng shot for the 8th level spiritual beast and slashed. Bam! A white sword wave hacked into the blue flames, freezing the air and making the fire fizzle out. Shriek. The spiritual beast cried out, and Zhuo Fan used this chance to get out of its beak. The spiritual beast didn't fight the girl, choosing to flee instead. Chu Qingcheng beamed, then recalled Zhuo Fan and went to him, only to find his legs sticking out of the ground. Chu Qingcheng grabbed one at random and pulled. Sorry, I was so focused on the fight with the beast I forgot about you. Are you all right? Ha ha ha, I'm perfect. I am in the bone-tempering stage after all, and won't die from something as simple as falling. Zhuo Fan grinned and wiped his face of dirt and dust. Qingcheng, thanks for saving me again. It must be in the stars to meet. We have to be fated to be together. Chu Qingcheng's face fell and through him. Humph, a scoundrel only knows how to spew lies. I wasted my time saving you for nothing. You're just trying to make your move on me. I should have just let that bird eat you. You'd never, since you can't go on without me. Zhuo Fan was sickeningly corny, though he was also right, as his words made Chu Qingcheng blush. Her heart racing, she shook her head of those random emotions and gave a smirk. You're nothing to me, braggart, so why would I ever stick around with you? Humph, now off you go, shoo. I still need to find my senior sisters. Bye. Chu Qingcheng left. Zhuo Fan howled and his forehead was covered in sweat. Straining to speak. Qingcheng, don't worry about me. Just do what you have to do. Leave me here in the wild outdoors for another strong spiritual beast to come around and take a bite out of me again. I won't blame you, since you don't care about me. Just go do you. Chu Qingcheng looked back to see Zhuo Fan grimacing and looking pale while his leg bled. Chu Qingcheng rushed over and took out a gauze to bandage him. Weren't you a bone-tempering cultivator? Why did you get a broken leg from falling? It's that spiritual beast who snapped it in its beak. Zhuo Fan gasped. Bone-tempering stage isn't enough to withstand those sharp fangs. Here, a healing pill from my sect. She fished out a vial in a rush and fed Zhuo Fan a pill. Chu Qingcheng's heart felt forlorn for some reason. But as we're all Genesis experts, we only got pills for internal wounds. It will take a week to heal your leg as is. Zhuo Fan nodded, looking distressed. Not moving for a week. I'll be a sitting duck for spiritual beasts to gobble me up. Stop saying that. You'll be fine with me around. Chu Qingcheng glared at him, but then she looked in the direction her fellow sisters when Zhuo Fan smiled. Qingcheng, aren't you going after your senior sisters? Just go and forget about me. How can I just leave you with your leg like this? Puffing her underwhelming chest, Chu Qingcheng spoke with honor and righteousness, but then she hoisted Zhuo Fan's arm and helped him up on her back, smiling. Isn't this better? I'll carry you to find my senior sisters and let you down in a safe place. That's mighty clever of you. Zhuo Fan lit up and nodded. Chu Qingcheng smiled in pride. Of course, now let's go. The two were gone like the wind, but the pure girl failed to notice the big eagle looking at them from a distance. Thank heavens that prick is gone. Brother, what's with that cut on your back? Another eagle shrieked in teasing. Many times bigger. Did a human play with you? Want bro here to set them straight? The first eagle flayed its wings and squawked, looking panicky. No, definitely no. Please don't. I never want to see that guy again. Is he that tough? From the wound, he doesn't look much to me. The slash barely dented your feathers. You know nothing. It's not the sword wielder, the tough one, but the guy forcing me to hold him in my beak. Its eyes were filled with fear as he recalled Zhua Fan's black orbs. Its feathers even trembled from terror. The bigger eagle looked stumped. Who on earth did this guy meet to make him shake like a leaf? The escaping men in black arrived at a barren mountain, where a refined elder was enjoying his tea in his chair. The three men in black slumped weakly at the old man's side, bowing. Clan head. Well, where is it? Clan head. We failed to take it and suffered heavy casualties. The leader hung his head crack. The cup broke in the old man's hand. His voice laced with fury. Failed? More than 20 experts and a late-stage spirit king failed? Weren't they just 7 girls? You couldn't even deal with them? Are you morons, or simply garbage? Clan head. The others shivered, with the leader speaking. Clan head. Let me explain. 6 of them were nothing, but the last girl was simply horrible. She killed without blinking and had an uncanny power about her. None of us could handle her. Even WW would have ended up dead if we were any slower. The old man eyed them and rose from his chair, his eyes sharp. For you, a late-stage spirit king, to fail against her, then she must be something else. That leaves only me to step in. Clan head, you're going to go after them yourself? The demonic emperor entrusted us with this task, and I'm not about to botch it. The old man snapped back. If just one of you had shown even a bit of promise, I wouldn't have deigned to steal from some nobodies. The old man covered his face with black cloth. The demonic emperor said not to harm anyone if possible, as to not stir up the old hag. All that matters is that we ruin their deal in Mist City. Let's go. Yes. They all got excited. With the clan head stepping in, that girl is finished. He is a mighty expert in the sacred domain, a true emperor. Chapter 1195, Imperial Descent. Chapter 1195, Imperial Descent. Proofreader, Papatonks. Whoosh. Under a clear sunny sky, the 6 disciples of Ruby Cloud sect were the only ones flying. The leader had a nice face, but the grimace ruined her image. The head senior sister looked angry all the time these past 3 days. One looked worried. Senior sister, aren't we going too fast? There's been no sight of junior sister all this time. Maybe she's lost? Humph. A spirit king is beneath her, but she can't catch up. She must have been playing around since it's her first time outside the sect. Why do you care? Fong Min spat with venom. The disciple's heart shrank, but still tried. Yeah, it's her first time this far from the sect and might not know the way. Should we leave her some signs to follow? You talk too much. Fong Min barked. That girl's so tough now, so why would she need your care? Are you leaving signs so the enemy can find us instead? Is that it? The girl shrank under head senior sister's harsh stare. Fong Min glared at her, then looked back ahead, brooding and furious as they went on. Boom! A sudden pressure came out of nowhere over them, and their flight was cut off. Falling to the ground, an aged voice laughed from everywhere. Ha ha ha. You think I need some signs to find you? Whoosh. 50 men in black landed before them, with 20 spirit kings among them. Their leader wore black, his scary eyes making the girls tremble. Imperial descent. He's an emperor. Fong Min gasped, full with dread as she looked at the older man. Her heart was beating so hard it might jump out of her chest. The other girls could barely breathe. The old man mocked. Juniors of the Ruby Cloud sect. I'd rather avoid having any real altercation with that biddy, so hand over the purple gold glazed cup. I'll be letting you all go without harming one hair on you. What do you say? As a mighty emperor, senior must be of great renown and sacred domain. Why would you lower yourself to some petty theft, Ak? Fong Min tried the diplomatic way, her tone shaky, but an even stronger pressure descended and forced her to shriek and cough blood. The old man snickered. We all have our sordid past, or do you not already see our covered faces? Girl, give it here and we'll be out of your hair. No fuss, no mess. But if it gets to it, I'll just have to pry it from your cold, dead hands. The girls tensed. all looking towards Fong Min and awaiting her decision. Head senior sister. What do we do? Senior. Fong Min's eyes darted around, smiling. Sorry, but you're getting ahead of yourself. You really want me to kill you all? Ha ha ha, kill us? Fong Min laughed in his face, senior. You got me all wrong. I'm not so stupid to fight the impossible. The treasure just isn't with us. You can just kill us and see for yourself. The old man's face twitched as he gave her a hard look. Not on you? Do you think I'll buy that? Search ahead then. Fong Min grinned as she forced her feet under her, taking out her storage ring. I'll go first. All I have is in there. Take a look. Why? Still don't believe me? Haha, you can just search me as well. Fong Min started undressing under the fixed gaze of the old man as her dress grew lighter. Her curves grew more obvious. The other guys behind were enchanted. Many gulped and drooled, having forgotten about some lame treasure, engrossed in having her take off everything. That took priority by far, senior sister. Her fellow disciples were tense and jittery. When senior sister finishes, it won't be us next, will it? We'll now lose both the treasure and our purity. What is senior sister thinking going so far? All right. Fong Min was left in a most enticing and revealing inner garment when the old man stopped her. His men hung their heads at having lost a good show, whining inside. Clan head, can't you mind the timing? Only just a bit more. I know you're withered, but you could at least think of everyone else. The old man already believed this last somewhat for going so far, not even bothering with the throne ring as he shouted, I'll believe you, for now, but if you don't have it, who does? My junior sister? Your junior sister? Junior sister is the strongest, so the treasure can only be in her care. We're nothing but bait. Even if you kill us, you won't get anything out of it. Fong Ming held out her head. The old man looked back at the previous leader and he attested, Clan head, the strongest girl is indeed not here. They must have split up and had her deliver the treasure. Where is she? The old man fixed his gaze back on Fong Min. Speak and you may go. Otherwise. Fong Min paused. 3 days ago, after the attack, junior sister took a different route, just to be safe. I have no idea where she could be by now. You could just trail back and maybe still find some clues. Find some trackers and get me her direction. The old man's piercing gaze never left Fong Min. Girl, lie to me, and I'll be back at any time to send you all to hell. Let's go. He shot into the sky, gone like the wind. The rest gulped and gave the 6 pretty girls one last look before leaving as well. Even with all the danger gone, the girls still looked to be in despair. Getting dressed again and picking up her ring, Fong Min had a smile of utter scorn on her face. Humph, here's what you want, you old fart. Come and get it. Senior sister, are they gone? Will they come back? One girl was still shaken up from the deadly pressure. Even now Fong Min grew grave. Yeah, once he finds junior sister doesn't have the purple gold glazed cup, he'll be sure to storm back. Sisters, we're detouring to Mist City. Leave not a trace of your energy on your way so they can't find us. Yes, head senior sister. They all cupped their hands, but then one girl shyly said, what about little junior sister? When they do find her, that's her problem. It was either sending them after her or us dying instead. What would you prefer, her or us? Fong Min snapped a cold glare on her. Shutting her up, she had a cruel smile as she then took the lead. All the rancor eating her up these past days gone. A girl. You won't be missed, humph. 5 days went by, with a girl carrying on her back a thin man and taking a totally different path from Fong Min's group. In flying she spoke her worries. Shuafan, is Mist City this way? Why haven't we met with the others yet? Not to worry, my sense of direction is perfect. Shuafan grinned, feeling warm and gooey inside as he gazed upon her adorable and worried face. Perfect direction? Huh. Well, of course, I've been roaming the sacred domain for ages that I know it like the back of my hand. While omitting the fact I'm taking the wrong way is a different story. Rather than catch up to those third wheels, a world just for the two of us is so much better, huh? Chapter 1196, Hellish. Chapter 1196, Hellish. Proofreader, Papatonks. Huff. It had been a week already, yet no sign of the girls as Chu Qingcheng carried Zhuo Fan with ragged breath. Worry plagued her innocent heart, making her not stop for even a second all this time. Even for a Genesis stage expert, the long travel took its toll. Zhuo Fan was feeling a bit guilty, wiping her sweaty brow. Qingcheng, my leg is healed now. Let's take a rest. No, I've yet to catch up to my senior sisters. We can't stop now. It will only make us lag further behind. Chu Qingcheng was stubborn. You won't ever catch them, not by taking the wrong way at least. Zhuo Fan sighed. Qingcheng, what difference does it make if we can't reach them? They're faster than you anyway, so there's no way you can catch up. Aren't you going to just meet up in Mist City? You'll just see them there, so just take it easy. But this is my first time outside the sect. How should I know where Mist City is? Don't you have me for something this simple? I'll show you the way. You, Chu Qingcheng started, looking back. Weren't you out looking for herbs? Won't I give you more trouble for guiding me all the way to Mist City? Zhuo Fan chuckled. What does it matter? I'm just a drifter. We'll just go to Mist City, then you can drop me off on your way back. Oh, then, thanks. Qingcheng's cheeks went pink, thinking she would carry him back as well. Though her heart did not seem to mind it, Zhuo Fan snickered, his breath tickling her ear. You don't want to carry me? Chu Qingcheng blushed harder, shaking her head. Would you carry me then? The guy was taking all the advantage he could from her back, making her flustered. Then hold me all my life, all right? Zhuo Fan spoke in an emotional and heavy tone. Chu Qingcheng shuddered, her mind blanking out as she stared deep in those black and tender eyes of his. She just did not know where Zhuo Fan's confession even came from to say something like that. Zhuo Fan looked at her with nothing but love, leaned over and pecked her lips. Dong. Chu Qingcheng froze solid, her mind blown away. Feeling the strange yet familiar male scent, her heart raced. With one shudder, they both fell to the ground, each left a 2-meter-wide hole. Chu Qingcheng crawled out of hers, panicky and blushing, looking over as Zhuo Fan held on the edge of his hole. Why, you're just toying with me again. Yeah, sorry, I just can't help it. Hee. Zhuo Fan scratched his head, yet showed no remorse as he smiled. Since I took unfair advantage, why don't you do the same? I'll even let you kiss me for 10 whole minutes. I won't mind it one bit either, haha. Why, you're so crude. Chu Qingcheng glared at him and walked out on him. I'm ignoring you. Qingcheng, don't go. You don't know the way, so let me guide you. I don't need you. I can just ask someone, humph. Zhuo Fan snickered as he gestured for the way ahead. Chu Qingcheng had lost faith in this rascal. Huffing and flying into the air in anger, Zhuo Fan scratched his head. Too soon? Was I pushing things too hard? Haha. Guess it's not easy chasing girls. I just can't understand how Qingcheng stood so loyal for 10 years and endured so much bitterness. Guess I get what I deserve now, with me doing the chasing this time. Zhuo Fan sighed. Let's see what I should use this time for our next meeting. Last time I was getting chewed by an eagle, so that's out. I'm in the bone tempering stage, so I can't just go after her. Whoosh. Zhuo Fan was going through his bag of tricks to hook girls when black streaks flew overhead and darkened the sky. Thanks to his meager cultivation, he was ignored by these powerhouses. Zhuo Fan, however, grew grave from their direction of flight. How did they catch up so fast? Qingcheng is all alone, so they should be looking after those broads instead. Take their stuff and just leave. So why are they here again? Casting blame? Zhuo Fan vanished the next second. Damn it. They even have an emperor with them. I won't be able to hide this time. Chu Qingcheng kept flying and cursing in anger. Rotten, evil Zhuo Fan. You only know how to toy with me. Senior sister was right. There's no trusting any man. They're all evil. Boom. A resounding boom echoed, followed by an unearthly pressure slamming into her and sending her crashing into the ground rumble. An even bigger explosion echoed as a crater half a mile wide sprouted, kicking up dust. Chu Qingcheng coughed blood and looked pale. Men in black landed in her sights, the leader being an old man. Her? She doesn't look like anything, yet she killed 24 people? Clan head. Don't let her cultivation fool you. She is a freak. The ex-leader whispered in his ear. Chu Qingcheng strained her waned face, only to cough blood again. Why you again? Girl, hand over the purple gold glazed cup, or I'll give you a fate worse than death. Purple gold glazed cup? Chu Qingsheng looked confused. I don't have it, but I wouldn't give Ruby Cloud sex treasure even if I did. The old man scoffed. Very well. Bam! Chu Qingsheng was sent flying from a kick to the gut. She jerked and coughed more blood, mixed with her innards. How weak, just at Genesis stage. The old man frowned, looking back in doubt. Is she the same expert that had you scared out of your minds? I don't see it. The man's face twitched, hanging his head, clan head. Maybe she's not herself today, up on bricks. Pa! The old man smacked him hard. You think it's funny? The old man snorted. The other man lowered his head, cursing Chu Qingsheng to high heaven. Damn girl, where is all that fire gone? Give me something, even a tenth, so that I can prove to clan head my mission failed for a very good reason. As it is now, I'm only being rebutted. There's no way we can prove our failure now. I'll deal with you later. Yes. The old man glared at him before turning to Chu Qingsheng. The ex-leader looked like a kicked puppy. On the verge of crying, the old man reached the girl and raised his foot. Lass, you killed my men, so I can't let you go like the rest. Since you're so obstinate, I'll crack open that skull of yours before looking for the treasure on your body. The old man stomped. A mighty pressure fell on her face, heralding certain doom. Chu Qingsheng felt her weakened body growing heavy and her heart sinking. Am I going to die? There's so many things I want to do. I don't even know my purpose in life, so how can I just... Boom. Her eyes closed just as the old man stomped a huge crater in front of her a mile wide. When the dust settled, the old man shook, his head whipping in another direction and shouting, "State who you are." You don't need to know it for where you're going. A pitch-black figure appeared in the roaming dust, its voice eerie and chilling. Even these criminals used to getting their hands dirty felt their hearts seizing from the hellish feeling. Chapter 1197, Imperial Mark. Chapter 1197, Imperial Mark. Proofreader, Papatonks. All heads turned to where the wind blew, on edge. Even the old man was cautious, taking back his foot. When all dust cleared, they saw a thin man holding a barely alive Chu Qingsheng. The men in black gasped. He saved her from under clan head's nose without any of us noticing anything. He's a true expert. The old man's eyes shone, his voice low. At least it makes my trip worthwhile knowing there's someone that can take me on. Zhuofan traced Chu Qingsheng's unconscious face, looking dark as he turned to the rest. Geezer, you must be rushing to die going after her. Humph, pretentious fool. At least you have skill to save someone from my attack. Though having an unconscious girl weighing you down won't be of much help. Whoosh. The old man looked smug with his smile, but then he heard whistling sword waves, instantly ripping apart 10 spirit kings, so fast. Everyone gasped in fright. The old man froze as well, unable to believe what he saw. How is his sword energy so fast that I couldn't even see it? It's beyond even sword. Emperor Ao Changtian's Imperial sword wins. What the hell are you? The old man finally revealed fear in his voice for the first time. Zhuofan grinned, with the ex-leader in black exclaiming, "Now I get it. Clanhead. He had to be the one who struck us before, not the girl. He's the monster." Bam! His head got split in two like a melon. Zhuofan smiled. Who sent you and why? They all gulped, the only sound in the deathly silence. The other men were horrified, glancing at the clan head for any signs of what to do. The old man was sweating now, thinking of a way out. Zhuofan shook his head. Since you can't even answer, I have no further use for you. Heaven sealing sword art. Space seal. Zhuofan flicked his hand and the space took on a cold glint, with all of the others stuck in place. What is this? A spirit king? Their hearts jumped in their chests. The elder looked grave, barely budging even as an emperor. With his movement slowed down so much, he began to feel the danger. He's no average spirit king to be able to freeze fellow spirit kings, and even an emperor. Just what is he? Why haven't I heard of anyone like him in all my years in Sacred Domain? Zhuofan grinned. Well, feel like talking now? You can opt for silence, but there'll be nothing left of any of you to even bury you. Who was it that said she's weighing me down? I don't even need to go all out against the likes of you. Ha ha ha. Zhuofan drew out 2 fingers, the air warping from the violent forces gathering at the tip's weight. The old man shouted in a panic, "I'll talk. I don't think Sir is from Ruby Cloud sect, nor do I know why you got involved in this, but I don't think you'll tell me either way. But still, no one wants to butt in the issues of the 8 emperors, I reckon." Zhuofan nodded. The old man looked relieved at his attitude. "We are under the demonic emperor, tasked to go after the Ruby Cloud sect disciples and get the purple gold glazed cup. The treasure auction in Mist City has a map of the Nether Sea that everyone wants. It points the way to the Nether Sovereign's home, with the promise of becoming a sovereign, or at least a saint. By taking the Ruby Cloud sect's treasure, it could no longer participate in the bidding, giving us one less opponent to worry about." "Oh, pretty much what I figured as well." Zhuofan nodded, flicking his hand, letting the violent energy expand everywhere. The frozen people evaporated on contact. 50 experts died just like that. The old man cried in anger. What are you doing? I told you everything, so why?" "You did, but I don't recall ever saying I'll let you go." With a sinister smile, Zhuofan said, "You hurt Qingcheng and expect to live? Huh." The old man ground his teeth, his eyes bloodshot. "This is absurd. I didn't want to get involved with you for fear of suffering pointless casualties. Did you really think that an emperor like me would be scared of a mere spirit king?" Boom. The old man shook and flew out of the frozen space. He started making signs and golden lights spilled out of him. Imperial mark, ghost skeleton. Whoosh. The golden lights exploded in intensity, and a skeleton hundreds of meters big appeared around him. The golden lights focused then and took the form of a 4-sided seal high in the sky, encompassing the old man and the skeleton. Zhuofan watched it all with a cold eye and a smirk. This was a skill particular to emperors, using one's soul and control of space to form the imperial mark, unstoppable and disregarding all spatial laws. Once the seal fell, the land would break along with any spirit king that tried fighting it. The soul's character would also be shown its full potential inside the imperial mark as well. The old man's soul was a ghost skeleton, of Een in nature, making the attack have an even harsher effect on souls. The moment the golden seal appeared, spilling light everywhere, Zhuofan shook as he heard howls of wraiths within his mind. It dazed him for a moment, with his body wobbling. Humph, nothing but a spirit king. You can control space, but can you take on the imperial heavenly brilliance? The old man was out for blood, shouting as the golden seal came down on top of Zhuofan. "Rotten cretin, I'll make mincemeat out of you, now while your mind is hazy." Apocalyptic thunder flame. Zhuofan's left eye flared with black flames, while deep in his soul, thunder flames sparked to life. The golden glow met with a sudden blackness, erasing it and making Zhuofan's eyes shine. Looking up at the incoming golden seal, Zhuofan grinned. His right eye shone in 2 golden halos. "Humph, the imperial mark might be unstoppable, but even it will suffer before my thunder flame." Divine Eye of the Void, second stage, thunder flame void annihilation. Whoosh. A dreadful black beam of flame shot at the golden seal. The old man cried out, "What is that?" Boom. The black flame smashed into the seal and availed itself of the void annihilation's power to enter the newly formed 1/2 meter wide and hundreds of meters long hole. The old man spurted blood and paled, proving that the imperial mark and he were connected, making him suffer when it was damaged. What was worse, the black thunder flames didn't rest with only punching a hole in the seal, eating away at the remains as well. Ah! With an unearthly howl, the man screamed from having his very soul eaten away. The pain had to be excruciating, enough to make one go insane. He was constantly pleading for mercy, yet Zhuofan just stood to the side and watched as the seal was burned to nothing. The old man wailed in pain down to his last breath, his face twisted and horrible. It was a testament to a most gruesome death no one would wish upon anyone. "I didn't use the decimating sword art on you as well because I needed your body intact." Zhuofan walked over to the twisted body, chuckling. He hooked his finger and a head landed in his palm. Chapter 1198, Gambling Town. Chapter 1198, Gambling Town. Proofreader, Papatonks. Drip. The downpour had soaked the land, washing away the blood and filth, leaving no trace behind of the atrocity that happened, while giving the air an earthy scent in a damp cave. with water dripping from the stalagmites. The girl laying on a stone bed muttered as she woke up, "Where am I?" "Oh, Qingcheng, awake yet?" Zhua Fan lit up, chuckling. "I can't believe how I ended up saving you in the end. Shouldn't you pledge endless devotion now?" "Ha ha ha. You saved me?" Chu Qingcheng was confused, trying to recall the fuzzy details. Then it all came to her in a flash. Looking at Zhua Fan with suspicion, "How did you save me?" "They had an emperor and many spirit kings." "Emperor? Spirit kings?" Zhua Fan shrugged, putting on a clueless look. "I didn't see any. Didn't you just leave me behind? As I tried catching up with you on the ground, I saw you lying unconscious. So I carried you here to nurse you. I never got to see anything." Chu Qingqing's eyes grew hazy. Strange. They were so ruthless, clearly wanting to kill me. I still remember that foot about to crush my head before I lost consciousness. Did they just let me go after finding I don't have it? Chu Qingqing turned to Zhua Fan. As if in question, Zhua Fan shrugged. Smiling cluelessly, Chu Qingqing thought long and hard but still couldn't find an explanation. So she resigned to being fortunate to have come out alive. Now she just had to catch up to her senior sisters. She just got up to her feet when she felt her waist in pain before slumping back down. Zhua Fan jumped to help her. "What is it?" "Take it slow, Qingqing. I have some bad wounds and can't move very well." Chu Qingqing winced and took a red pill from her ring. She ate it inside. "Now it'll be a miracle if I get to Mist City on time, let alone catching up with the other." Zhua Fan smiled, his mind calculative. "Did you forget about me already? Last time you carried me, so now I'll carry you." "You?" "Yep. With you unable to fly, my running has to be way better than being stuck here, right?" Chu Qingqing yelped as he up and put her on his back, taking a long whiff of her scent while plastering a smile on his face. "Oh, my wife's smell is so unlike everyone else's. I'll be sure to engrave it in my memory, to hold it close to the end of days." Bam! Chu Qingcheng smacked his head, blushing hard and chiding. "Cut that out. I am not your wife." "Yes, you are. Miscreant. Maybe not now, but you soon will be. You can never escape from me." Zhua Fan held onto Chu Qingqing's supple legs and lifted, eliciting another pleasant yelp from her before he started walking. Chu Qingqing glared at this rotten man, but for some reason, her heart just wouldn't match her thoughts. His wide back called to her to just rest on it as a strong girl. She, of course, pushed through the thought with sheer determination. Despite her heart's constant hammering in her chest, Zhua Fan carried his darling, asking about her life till now. "Qingcheng, who gave you that name anyway? It sounds so nice, like those kingdom-toppling beauties. Is father-in-law a Chu?" "Stop that nonsense." Chu Qingqing blushed again, but she replied still, "Master named me when she picked me up. I heard that the ground collapsed just as Master passed by, revealing these characters, thus taking me and naming me after them." "Oh, I see." Zhua Fan nodded. "That old man from my soul was very thoughtful for me. To make sure I found Qingqing, he left clues of her birth. But, and your parents? Didn't your master find your parents?" Chu Qingqing lowered her head, sighing. "Master said I don't have any, that she only found me alone. I always wanted to go out and find where I came from when I left the sect." "Any idea where to begin?" "None." Chu Qingqing shook her head. Zhua Fan's eyes shone, his mind making the right adjustments to the plan. "Then leave it to me. I will make it clear as day." "You? You don't believe I can do it?" Zhua Fan raised an eyebrow, smiling. "I've been roaming the world for so many years, and where I lack in strength, I made up with knowledge in spades. They don't call me an information broker for nothing. There's not an obscure rumor or far-fetched myth I didn't hear. The demonic emperor's high treachery or the enchanting empress's twisted love life throughout the ages. I know everything." "Pa!" His head snapped to the side from the blow as Chu Qingqing yelled at him. "Don't you dare vilify my master." "Why would I even want to? While the crone is hardly amazing now, back in the day." "You're still saying that." Fine, fine. I'll stop. It's not like we all haven't been rash and reckless in our youth." Zhua Fan smirked, feeling gloomy inside. "What's so great about that biddy anyway? Something's definitely off here, just taking Qingcheng to the sect and raising her." I'd better get those guys to look into what went on a century ago. Zhuofan walked on, his mind on different matters. Chu Qingqing saw him silent and asked, "Are you angry?" "Oh, not at all. I could never be angry at you." Zhuofan beamed. Chu Qingqing brightened, and her heart swooned. In her joy, her head leaned on his back. At peace and happy, Zhuofan caught her look and was just as content. Zhuofan walked with Chu Qingqing on his back for 7 days before she finally got better. She could pretty much walk on her own and be off on her merry way. But these short days had worked to get the destined couple to grow much closer, as well as Zhuofan's persistent demand to guide her. Chu Qingqing thus let him do what he wanted. With some reluctance, she ended up carrying him as they flew. Reaching the gates of Mist City 3 months later, the two entered the bustling city hand in hand. Everything drew Chu Qingqing's eyes, amazed at any sparkling or cute thing, being her first time outside the sect. Zhuofan acted natural, except for that eerie light in his eyes. Qingqing, Mist City is known as gambling town and sacred domain, with a gambling game at every corner of every street. In the city center, the treasure hoarding palace took the best spot of all gambling dens. The treasure deal you are all here for has to be held there. This is a gambling town? Isn't it Seven Treasures Sect's domain, where deals are made? It is, but the sect leader is a renowned gambler, dubbed the Gambling Emperor, making the deals made here resemble gambling. When conducting business with him, you either lose or he loses. There's no such thing as mutual satisfaction. What? Chu Qingqing gasped. No fairness? Who on earth would bet with him for anything then? As one of the 8 emperors, who'd win against him? Zhuofan smiled. A true gambler knows when to accept a loss. Or there would never be anyone willing to risk gambling against such a man if there's not a chance of winning. A gambler would be down without a buddy to gamble with. That's why the Gambling Emperor is only letting luck decide. Regardless of the loss, he'll never go back on it. This is the rule of all gambling. The moment he breaks it, no one will ever come to his town ever again. Chu Qingqing nodded, and then her eyes shone. Zhuofan, have you ever bet against him? Haha, nah, it can't be. Why would he bet against someone like you? And you don't look to be having anything worth his time either. Oh, I did bet. Zhuofan's eyes flashed. I offered a heaven-grade cultivation method for his heaven-grade martial art and won in the end. He ended up crying 3 whole days before he finally gave me the martial art. Chu Qingqing gave him a long look, a bone-tempering cultivator with a heaven-grade cultivation method, betting for a heaven-grade martial art? If you're going to boast, make it believable. Reading her like a book, Zhuofan held her gaze before finally chuckling. Qingqing, can't believe you fell for it. Without me around, I fear someone's going to cheat you out of your spirit stones. Ha ha ha. Why you tricked me? Chu Qingqing gaped, then started chasing Zhuofan around. He played along, enjoying the rare moment. Qingqing, what are you doing? Chapter 1199, Gambling Town's Upstart. Chapter 1199, Gambling Town's Upstart. Proofreader, Papatonks. S. Senior Aunt May. Chu Qingqing jumped in fright, looking back in anxiety where the voice came from, and stiffened like a child being caught. A woman in her 50s came over, a mid-stage empress, with sharp eyes and an ashen face, wearing plain clothes. She glared at the two, approaching with authority. Her fierce attitude only worked on girls, not on seasoned demons like Zhuofan. Mei Sanga hasn't kicked the bucket yet? What a drag. Zhuofan cursed her inside. Mei Sangu reached them, and her eyes never left Chu Qingqing. Behind her were Feng Min and the other girls, along with one young man. She pointed at Zhuofan's face while cussing. Qingqing, who's this? You're a Ruby Cloud sect disciple yet are gallivanting with a man in broad daylight? The scandal. Senior Aunt, Chu Qingqing was embarrassed, stuck, unable to even introduce him. Feng Min butted in, ever unhelpful with making things worse. Senior Aunt, he's the thug we found in the forest looking for herbs a few months ago. He's nothing, but he must be one smooth talker to actually get in Junior Sister's graces to follow her here. Junior Sister, if you were looking for a man, you sure have poor tastes. Just what are you up to hanging out with a nobody like him? Ha ha ha. The other girls giggled at her expense. Senior Sister, you misunderstand. He's, Chu Qingqing rushed to explain but got stuck again. Mei Sanga rushed. Qingqing, just what is going on here? Explain yourself. You know very well of your master's high expectations. Don't throw it all away on a whim. Senior aunt, just tell them already. Chu Qingcheng kept stammering, so Zhuofan intervened, grabbing her hand and declaring, "Forgive me, but she is with me now. You all better be nice to her, or else." Everyone froze, their hearts shuddering from shock. Mei Sanga could hardly believe her ears. "Qingcheng, why you've already? And no, we didn't do anything." Chu Qingcheng blushed hard as she explained and cursed Zhuofan. "What are you saying? I'm not yours at all. Could you please stop lying to everyone? What did I ever do to you to shame me so?" Zhuofan shrugged. "I'm not shaming you. You were mine to begin with. Be it now and forever. No one can take you away from me." Chu Qingcheng gave him a long look, still distressed and red, but his bold declaration touched her. "Ha ha ha. A bone-tempering punk goes after a Ruby Cloud sect disciple? Not even the last dead girl will be a fit for you. Humph, she's way out of your league." Fong Min laughed, throwing him a despising look, then turned to the handsome youth. "Asheng, are the Sword Cloud Palace disciples allowed to have affairs with bugs?" The youth smiled condescendingly. "We aren't fools to resort to such absurd means. Or does junior sister think she is only fit for this guy?" "Well said. Junior sister must surely know her worth." Ha ha ha. Fong Min loved to mock the two. Chu Qingcheng hung her head with guilt. Tears flowing, Mei Sanga sighed and pulled her shoulder. "Come with me, girl. You shamed us enough as it is. You're to reflect long and hard when we return." Chu Qingcheng followed out of instinct. "Qingcheng, it's fine. Just come find me if you need anything. I'll never let them touch a hair on you." Zhuofan shouted after the two. Fong Min mocked. "Boy, you're so yellow on the inside that you're now running your mouth? You call that skill? If you're a man, just go take junior sister from senior Aunt May's hand." "Oh, look who I'm talking to. Of course if you do that you'd end up flattened with senior aunt's temper. Ha ha ha. Brother, may I know your name?" Zhuofan only addressed the youth next to her. The guy was surprised, then sneered. "I am Su Zhensheng. What may I do for you?" "Nothing much, just meaning to give you a word of advice." Zhuofan snickered. Catching a woman's heart is like looking for a needle in the haystack. You have to grasp what she values. Your approach won't get you anywhere. Ha ha ha. Zhuofan left him to digest that tidbit. While Fong Min and the girls stood there stunned, Fong Min asked, "What did he mean by that?" Probably nothing." Su Zhensheng was out of sorts, making a random excuse, while his heart was in awe. "He doesn't look like it, but this guy's like a love doctor or something. Go after what she values. It makes perfect sense." He butted in just now so the junior sister would be at odds with both parties, having no choice but to go with him. What kind of person would ever want to live their lives under constant nagging? This was a clear tactic of taking advantage of the situation to get the girl to his side. They could just elope later on. Absolutely brilliant. But what's the point of getting the girl to follow him when he hasn't got the skill to fight back the Ruby Cloud sex hunters? If he can't handle them, why resort to dissent? He doesn't look like the reckless and impulsive type either. Su Zhensheng couldn't figure him out. Fong Min and the girls gave him odd looks. What's with Asheng? He's been out of it just from a couple words from that guy. How peculiar. Mei Sanga brought Chu Qingcheng to a tavern in Mist City, where she interrogated her over what she went through. "You're saying that you've been hurt badly and he guided you here. You were just using him to show you the way, and that's all there is to it?" "Senior aunt, that is it for now. What's that supposed to mean? Don't tell me later you." Not at all." Chu Qingcheng shook her head and Mei Sangu finally sighed. "I hope so, Qingcheng. You are the favorite disciple of my senior sister. Don't do anything that will bring the sect shame. Since it was just a misunderstanding, we can let it go. But next time, you are to stay clear of men, understand?" "Yes." Chu Qingcheng squeaked. Mei Sanga gestured for her to leave. "Go and get some rest for 2 days. In 3 days, the exchange gathering will commence. We have to get the Nether Sea map." "Yes." Chu Qingcheng was downcast as she left, with Mei Sangu sighing from behind. "Girls yearn for love. We better find them a betrothal instead of having some egotistical cheat toy with them." Zhuofan held a green jade slip, following the map inside to the center of town, to a large courtyard guarded by 2 Genesis stage experts. "This is the place." Zhuofan's eyes shone. The two guards blocked him as he tried going inside. Halt. Only honored guests of Mist City stay here. Laborers have no place here. Step aside. I'm one of them. You. Sizing him up, the two mocked. Have you ever seen some bone-tempering bug treated as a guest? I'm from the Luo clan. Now move. Luo clan? The two started, but their disdain of Zhua Fan never diminished. Kid, now you're trying to scare us? The Luo clan became an honored guest only a month ago. They squandered billions of sacred stones and earned our city lord's personal invitation here. They have many experts, of which over 20 spirit kings. Yet you're saying there's also you somewhere in there? Zhua Fan's face sank. Then just call someone from the Luo clan and it will all be made clear? Why? Is a bug worthy of the audience of such an important guest? Steward Zhua. A cry came just then as Li Jingtian rushed over upon noticing Zhua. Steward Zhua, you're finally here. You almost made my heart stop with your year-long disappearance. Ugh. The guards blinked in stupefaction, a silly smile on their faces. Sir Li, why you know him? He is the Luo clan's head steward. Be nice to him, or any slight done to Steward Zhua is a slight to the entire Luo clan. We'll be sure to settle this debt. Li Jingtian gave them a tongue lashing and grabbed Zhua Fan's arm with a smile. Steward Zhua, we did as you said in the jade slip and spent a ton of money without a care. We almost bought the whole town. Ha. Good. In 3 days, at the treasure gathering, we must succeed. Zhua Fan's eyes shone as he left with Li Jingtian. The two guards were still staring with goony looks, their faces twitching. What's a powerful clan doing with a bone-tempering nobody for a head steward? From the looks of Sir Li, they value him greatly too. Chapter 1200, Treasure Gathering. Chapter 1200, Treasure Gathering. Proofreader, Papatonks. 3 days later, at the treasure-hoarding palace, placed in the center of Mist City, an endless crowd had gathered. Some were officials, others were average people, but they were all there for the great treasure exchange, though that was just a fancy word for gambling. As most treasures were never seen in public, some would end up spending a fortune, only to get nothing in return. Others had the fortune of using just 10 spirit stones and becoming set for life. This was the thrill of gambling, fraught with dangers, but the potential to win a reward so valuable that it could put you in power overnight. Everyone here walked in line. For on this day there was no status separating anyone as they entered the hall and got to their seats. The place housed hundreds of thousands, gathered around a stage where the city lord of Mist City awaited today. He was not just the city lord, but the host for the occasion, with this exchange holding some very incredible items. He had to come out and handle this big event involving powerful people. Taking a deep breath, the man of the hour overlooked the stands, tensing as he lingered a moment longer on the 9 covered private booths. Therein were the other representatives of the 8 emperors. All were a headache to deal with and could trash this place without fear of consequences. It unnerved him, but he tried to focus and calm his mind. We've been here for a month, yet still haven't seen the city lord such a nervous wreck. In one of the booths, Li Jingtian glanced at the fretful man and turned to the other booths. Steward Zhua, today we're up against the 8 emperors, in the open no less, but isn't it a bit too early with barely a year of preparations? Even Mist City Lord isn't ready to face the others, and he has the gambling emperor behind him. Zhua Fan sat in a cozy chair. Yes, the risk is great, but we have to grasp the opportunity. It's the best chance we have of involving ourselves in the 8 emperors conflict. Who's to say there'll be a next one? Also, didn't I say I will be taking the lead in this? Young Miss Morong, what are you two even doing here? Zhua Fan looked back at the two girls as the young miss of the Luo clan. I have to be present at such a huge event. Luo Yunchang shrugged from her own fancy chair. Morong Shui gave him a look. I'm not about to miss out on the chance of seeing the sacred domain's big shots. So far, it doesn't look any different from the mortal domain. If it's all the same, why come? Bali Yu rolled her eyes. We're here to show these big names in sacred domain what we're made of, not strut about. You're both here for nothing. Hey, don't talk like that. Who's in charge of the clan here anyway? Settle down now. As they were about to bicker again, Zhua Fan intervened. Since we're all here, might as well enjoy it. Young Miss Luo is correct though. At such an important event, A steward isn't enough to represent the clan head's intentions. It's only normal for the young miss to be here. Luo Yunchang rose an eyebrow, shooting Bali Yuyu a smug look. The cold lady huffed and flicked her head away. The others chuckled at their antics. Bang. A deafening ringing echoed as a bell was struck. The stands went quiet, with the city lord walking forward with a smile. Guests, the 1784th Treasure Exchange gathering begins. Be it the poor or the rich, this very hall offers the same opportunity to all. An opportunity to change their destiny. Life is hard and cruel, so don't wait for it to get better. Take out everything you have and go after those treasures. The crowd went wild. We'll start off with our first item of the day. At City Lord's shout, guards pushed in a trolley. It had a black cover, blocking any prying eyes as the host gave his speech. This is a fascinating spiritual weapon for the ladies and an obsession for the men. It is a treasure that drives shock into all. You can't possibly imagine the world could ever have something so incredible. What is it, you ask? The eyes below the stage glittered, trying their best to guess what this amazing bauble could be behind that thin veil. With a cryptic smile, the city lord resumed, I don't know it, and neither do any of you. Per custom, it can be something grand and unique, or as common as dirt. Let the blind bidding commence, and may the highest bidder win. Opportunity rarely knocks in one's lifetime. People, don't miss your chance at glory. 100,000 spirit stones. A shout echoed the instant he finished riling up the crowd, followed by a flood of others. 1 million. I must have it. It has to be amazing to make women fascinated and men obsessed. 5 million. The people whispered, then checked their pockets to see if they could afford it. Some had the means but not the will to step in, for fear of going bust. Zhua Fan sneered at the bivalent crowd. That's the gambling emperor's ploy, all right. Plant to hike up the bidding. That means the item must be junk to raise it so high. Why? People would feel sorry spending a fortune over something cheap, but it garners attention, while buying something valued with a lower price would cause excitement and greed. All these years, the gambling emperor has been using this trick to cheat people out of their money. It's an old tactic, but there's plenty of people out there who would fall for it all the same. Huh? Zhua Fan shook his head in disdain. Li Jingtian nodded. Yeah, but what kind of fools would fall for it? Do you need to ask? Us, of course. Li Jingtian flinched. Steward Zhua, you know it's a trick yet still go for it? What else do you expect from an upstart? You're saying all those sacred stones you wasted the past month are to be for nothing? Zhua Fan smiled. The Grand Eight Emperors are high up on their throne and hardly anyone could get close. The best way is to find some dumb and gullible moneybags. Who wouldn't want a friend, pawn like that? That's how you gain value, by joining their circle, taking back what you lost plus interest. Li Jingtian grinned. Steward Zhua, you always look ahead. Then let's bid. But what's the price at right now? 8 million. Then we'll add one more. 10 million. A shout came first before Zhua Fan got the chance. Filled with power, Zhua Fan's eye twitched, looking over. One of the 8 emperors. Ashing, we're not here to have some bet with the gambling emperor. Nor do we have so many spirit stones. The map is all that matters. In the booth where the last bid came from, an elder with white eyebrows eyed Su Zhenxing with a grave look. Su Zhenxing smiled. Senior uncle, I'm buying with my own money for a girl. As long as she likes it, the price won't matter. It won't affect the sect's coffers by a single stone. He then gave Fong Min a dazzling smile. She felt her insides tingle. Then she preened at her junior sisters. See that? My man knows how to please his girl. Envious much? Ha ha ha. The girls nodded like good children, with only Chu Qingqing depressed, her mind always on Zhua Fan Sirlu. Ashing looked smitten with Amin. It won't be long before they tie the knot. Ha ha ha. Third Aunt May giggled, showing her white teeth. A stark difference from how she acted around Zhua Fan and Qingqing. Her mind was another matter. However, Amin is good at this, having the kid wrapped around her finger. Humph, let him waste his money on the junk, and then they won't have anything left to bid for the Nether Sea map. Damn broad, going as far as using a honey trap. The elder frowned, reading her like a book. He says he's using his own money, but isn't your pocket money taken from the sect? We're in gambling town, and he should know its standards. What if you're wasting just that little bit of money? We might need to place a winning bid at the very end. How is that going to help the sect? The elder glared hard at Su Zhenxing. He caught his meaning but showed no reaction. Chasing girls is pricey. That guy used the elder's nagging to make the last fall for him, then elope. I'll just use money to buy a girl's heart. Isn't that the same? And regarding eloping, bringing the Ruby Cloud sect's head senior sister over to the Sword Emperor's sect will earn me bragging rights. Some glittering rocks can't ever compare to that. 20 million. Zhuofan shouted an even higher bid. Chapter 1201. A Moneybag Style. Chapter 1201. A Moneybag Style. Proofreader. Papatonks. Su Zhenxing's face twitched and fell, glaring at the other booth. Senior uncle. Who is that? Oh, that must be the Luo clan. The old man squinted and said, they're not with them. Just a group that got fame from throwing their money around in Gambling Town recently. Nothing but money back. Nothing? They go after 8 Emperor's people without any backing? I can't lose now. What about Sword Emperor's sect's reputation? Su Zhenxing shouted, 30 million. Zhenxing. The elder snapped, a little too late. Youths could never handle a challenge, right? Irking for a fight at the slightest provocation. 30 million was his yearly allowance for training. Yet it was all thrown over some unknown useless bauble. The old man cursed him for being a sore loser, while Fang Min rejoiced under the second-hand attention. Zhuofan casually replied, sacred stones. The entire stands were stirring, with all eyes fixed on his booth in shock. 20 million sacred stones over some random crap? That was no longer betting, but throwing cash around. What kind of moneybags are behind that curtain? Su Zhenxing choked, grimacing, unable to face Fang Min's hopeful eyes and choosing to direct all his hatred at the enemy. Bastard. Who the hell are these Luos? Throwing away 20 million sacred stones like garbage? Did they run out of spirit stones? This is absurd. They got more money than a Sword Emperor disciple. The senior uncle was stunned, but sighed in relief. I'm glad this wastrel got his desires curbed. Ha ha ha. Honored Luo clan, are you sure you want to bet 20 million sacred stones on this? The city lord was taken aback as well. All eyes awaited for the booth's reply. City lord, we only have sacred stones, and we'll only be using them from now on. Boom. The hall exploded with clamor, never leaving the booth out of their sight. They all heard of the Luo clan's deep pockets, but to think they were bottomless. They used sacred stones right off the bat, and they would keep doing it. What were the rest supposed to bet then? Many clutched their heads, grimacing out of futility to deal with this upstart. Looking at the crowd, the city lord stuck to his role. The Luo clan bid 20 million sacred stones on this item. Is there anyone else who bids more? Silent as the grave. No one at all? The city lord tried. Seeing no reaction, he declared, then the fascination of women and obsession of men shall go to the Luo clan. The city lord threw his arm and uncovered the trolley to reveal a dazzling prismatic hairpin, decorated with 18 crystalline pearls of incredible clarity that mesmerized the crowd. The girls in particular looked spellbound, holding them under its mystical spell. Prismatic, virtuous hairpin, created from refined metal 180 times and adorned with pearls, each priceless. As a woman, wearing such a pearl hairpin would magnify their beauty, emphasize their elegance, and perfect their image. The city lord went on. Alas, it can't be considered anything more than a hairpin. Any man that would buy it is bound to have their hearts bleed and regret going home with this trinket. Ha! The audience burst out in laughter, most of which were men, of course. As for the women, they were just enamored with the pearl hairpin. The Ruby Cloud sect women, even Mei Sango, weren't any different, their eyes sparkling like that of a young girl. Fang Min bit her lip, giving Su Zhenxing a reproachful look. You're useless. You couldn't even buy a hairpin. Sister Min, it's good that he didn't. It's nothing but a pointless decoration worth less than 100 spirit stones. As if. It has its uses and I wanted it. Fang Min whined like a spoiled brat. Chu Qingqing nodded at the side, envious. Sure, it's not valuable, but it'll be nice to be able to wear it just once. You? Huh. Fang Min scoffed. No amount of hairpins will work on someone as hopeless as you. Chu Qingsheng pouted with a lowered head. The city lord turned to the Luo clan to say, "Of course, a sword is worthy of a hero, as makeup is sublime on a lady. We've been mocking its value only from a man's standpoint. For a woman, however, especially a breathtaking beauty as young Miss Luo, it is another matter entirely. With your wealth, it is not just about money when bidding on the hairpin, but a must-have accessory. Take the hairpin to young Miss Luo." Yes. An attendant took the trolley with the item. All the eyes that glittered as the item passed belonged solely to women. Filled with envy, hold. A voice from the booth came, "Wah. Give this hairpin to Ruby Cloud Sect's young Miss Chu Qingqing." Everyone got rowdy again, all whispering as they turned in Ruby Cloud Sect's direction. Luo clan just threw away 20 million sacred stones, just so it can gift it to Ruby Cloud Sect? Are they their backers? The Ruby Cloud Sect group was baffled as well. Fang Min turned eager to Mei Sangu. "Senior aunt, is the Luo clan with us?" The elders stared at her hard, tense. With Ruby Cloud Sect having such a wealthy branch, it will make the last bidding dangerous. "I don't know. Sect leader didn't tell me anything. Were they sent to help?" Mei Sangu was floundering. An attendant brought the item over, bowing. "Senior, who might Miss Qingsheng be?" Whoosh. All eyes focused on Chu Qingsheng, who looked out of sorts as she raised a hand. The attendant smiled and bowed again as he presented the hairpin. "As Miss Heard, the Luo clan's master gives you this. Please take it, miss." Oh? Chu Qingsheng operated on reflex at this point, too overwhelmed to speak. Before she did reach it, however, another hand flicked the cover and moved to grab it right in her face with a cold eye. The attendant dodged the insidious hand, staring at the owner. "Miss, you're not Chu Qingsheng and I can't give it to you. I'm the head senior sister of Ruby Cloud Sect, Fang Min. If Luo clan told you to give Ruby Cloud Sect the time, then why can't I have it?" Fang Min's eyes burned with jealousy as she grinded her teeth. The man spat. "Master Luo bought the hairpin, and it's our duty to give it to the rightful owner. Gambling Town abides by this rule. Since Sir wished for young Miss Qingqing of Ruby Cloud Sect to have it, it's clear that it doesn't belong to the sect itself." "Damn you. Minner, stop making a scene. You're only making a fool of yourself." Fang Min was about to flip out, but Mei Sanga shouted. She then smiled. "Qingcheng, it's his gift, so take it." Chu Qingcheng nodded with a smile, taking the item offered by the attendant and adorning the hairpin in her hair. The clothes made the man, or the woman in this case, as the hairpin blended flawlessly with the perfect girl, turning her otherworldly. Chapter 1202, Gambling Stage. Chapter 1202, Gambling Stage. Proofreader, Papatonks. "Qingcheng, did you find her?" Luo Yunchang heard Zhuofan shouting and flinched. "Did I hear right? Is she from Ruby Cloud Sect?" Zhuofan nodded and eased a long breath. "Yes, it's truly unfortunate that she is so close to Ruby Cloud Sect. It's sure to make things worse at one point." "Then congratulations," Li Jingtian muttered, looking strained. Zhuofan cared not, saying, "Elderly, there's something strange about the secrecy around Qingqing and Ruby Cloud Sect. Look into it, as well as what events happened 100 years ago. I have a feeling that Hag is setting her up for something." "Sure, Steward Zhua. I'll go check it out later." "Thanks." Zhuofan frowned, his mind elsewhere. The city lord once again announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, as well as seniors, the first item found an owner, but you needn't fret, for our second item is far more precious. Bring it in. 30 million. The city lord flinched, looking again at the Luo clan booth with a twitchy eye. "Yes, sir. I've yet to call out the starting price." "Who cares? I just gotta have it." Boom. The stands were taken by storm once more. The first item's only clue to its value was the city lord's base price. But now that was shot out the window, placing a sky-high bid off the bat regardless if it was junk or diamonds. Though it would be such a shame for those 30 million sacred stones if it ended up being a bust. Thinking about it from a different angle, what shame would there be if they're filthy rich? The real question is, just how loaded are they to burn so much money? The focus of the gathering has changed from betting to figuring out the mystery behind the Luo clan. Where did they come from? The city lord sighed, but stuck to his role, calling it thrice. Anyone else? Anyone at all? Someone? Everyone was silent. Knowing nothing about that thing on the stage, and already having a 30 million bid on it, no one would be insane to take such unwarranted risk. The item goes to the Luo clan. The city lord slammed his gavel. What is it, you might ask? Let us see. Give it to young Miss Qingqing from Ruby Cloud Sect. Thanks. Zhuofan cut him off, making the city lord stumble. He gave a powerless and strained sigh as he said, Sir, you don't even wish to know what you bought. No, since everything will be delivered to young Miss Qingqing. Zhuofan's tone was irreproachable. The city lord gave a casual wave, sending the attendant with the item. Everyone watched as the unknown item moved away. This never happened once in the history of Mist City. Ruby Cloud Sect's group was dumbfounded. Who's Luo clan? Why are they just giving us stuff? They want to work their way into our good graces? Yeah, that's gotta be it. But why then are they sending it to just one person, the youngest disciple? That was what had these girls stumped. So began an endless trail of unknown items sent to Chu Qingqing with every outrageous bid from Zhuofan before the city lord ever got to rile up the crowd. Chu Qingqing had to do nothing and found herself swimming in treasures with a blank look. As for the people coming here for the thrill of betting, they were left powerless against such moneybags, turning into props to make him look good since he won all the items with an impossible price. The others had nothing on him. It was a sad day for any gambler, a dreamer, or a plain addict. It mattered not the heavy loss or the crushing defeat, but being unable to bet. The city lord felt the worst of it by far with every dreaded call from Zhuofan. An item was bought without even being able to get a word in. The only dignity as host remaining was to call the next item. It was a sad, sad day for him now that all the items were gone. It was city lord's time to shine once more. With the commodities over, we would first like to thank our honored Luo clan for being our greatest investor. The next item shall be the greatest the city has ever seen. The 8 emperors of the sacred domain shall now compete over our last item, Nether Sea Map. Others are welcome to join, so long as you can stomach it and have the strength to back it. Haha. 8 emperors? The tired or bored gamblers thought the last item might be their time to shine. They were happy chasing the thrill, even if it meant losing the shirt off their backs. Hearing 8 emperors being mentioned, however, woke them up on the spot. You kidding me? Bet with the 8 emperors? I'm too young to die. Not a sound was made in the entire hall, with the audience feeling a chill down their backs. The city lord gave them a cold smile, then smirked at the Luo clan's booth. You can have the world's wealth in your pocket, but not even you have the gall to challenge these powerhouses. 8 emperors representatives, this is a request from the gambling emperor. Please present your bids on the table so that the winner can be declared without any hard feelings. Bring chairs and a table. Someone brought a large table and 7 seats. The city lord smiled, being the first to face it and take out a gray map to display it on the table. The people in the booths huffed and made their way out, including Mei Sanga's group, each looking impressive. The audience had their first glimpse of real power. What does the gambling emperor intend with this? Give his town a show? Yeah, as each of us are people of repute, why should we bother giving these people any consideration by showing our competition? Does the gambling emperor want to inflate his image? Are you planning on leading all of the other emperor representatives by the nose? Curses and sneers sounded at the table as each representative took their seats. With their people standing behind, the city lord smiled. People, since you came to Gambling Town, you must gather around the betting table. The Nether Sea Map can't just be given, since the gambling emperor has been wanting the Nether Sovereign's seat of enlightenment as well. Why invite us here for? Betting. The city lord's eyes shone, showing a sinister smile. We can't sell it to you, but we can lose it as long as you have the means to win it. Mei Sangu squinted and huffed. Fine, and how do we play? I'm sure the common games of chance are beneath such fine people, so we'll be using riddles. Guessing right makes you the winner. In case of a draw, the house wins. The city lord smirked. Riddle? The 7 people nodded. Fine. Then let the games begin. Wait. To the shock of everyone in there, a shout came from the Luo clan booth at another seat. The Luo clan is joining. What? The crowd stirred. The Luo clan is competing with the 8 emperors? Is it suicidal? Or do they have backing? The representatives themselves were taken aback, each trying to guess their history. With such nerves of steel, they had to be something else to join such a bet. Did they represent Sacred Mountain? The city lord smiled. Bring another seat. There's plenty of room around the betting table. One empty chair appeared on the side of the large table, with everyone fixed on it with strange gazes. The Luo clan walked out of their booth and made their way down. Chu Qingcheng and Ruby Cloud sex girls gasped. You? What are you doing here? As part of the Luo clan, it's only natural that I follow young miss. Something wrong? Zhuofan beamed, walking in front. His mysterious manner gave others no means of reading him. Chapter 1203, Treasure Competition. Chapter 1203, Treasure Competition. Proofreader, Papatonks. Startled, Chu Qingcheng stared at Zhuofan, getting more confused by the second. The other girls couldn't wrap their heads how a magnate like the Luo clan would take in bone-tempering garbage. Zhuofan couldn't care less about what they thought. Smiling at one particular girl, Qingcheng, did you like what I gave you? Ah, you gave them to me. Yes, did you like them? Zhuofan sighed. Sorry for giving you random things. We were only together for a short time and couldn't tell what you'd like, so I just gave you everything to pick the right one for you. If you don't like anything, just throw them away. But tell me what you like so I'll be sure to pick the best for you next time. It's fine, they're all nice. Chu Qingcheng blushed red-hot, lowering her head as her heart blossomed in her chest. Zhuofan smiled. Nice? What were they then, since I couldn't see? Tell me all about them so I can give you more in the future. You don't have to waste your money. Humph, he didn't waste anything, especially since he didn't even want that stuff. So he just showered you with them while he was at it. You really think he'll do it again? Fang Min was stewing in her jealousy as she scoffed. Master Luo must have bought all that to show off, regardless what stuff it was. Who knows what the punk must have said to his master to gain the right to handle such garbage. He's nowhere near capable of getting millions of sacred stones from his master just to burn them for you. Yeah, he's just a lucky bastard to have such a nice master to take him in. What a shame to have picked dirt from the ground. Of course he has no say over his master's money, not to give it to you at least. Su Zhenxing was also irked. Junior sister, you better stay away from him. He's nothing but a lapdog. Do you wish to rely on someone's charity? Chu Qingcheng looked hurt, giving Zhuofan a long look before saying, Senior sister, but he's really nice. Even if he didn't buy all of that, just his thoughtful. Come again? Dumping the stuff his master didn't want on you is thoughtful? Dumb girl, are you so cheap? Fang Min glared hard, then turned to Mei Sangu. Senior aunt, shouldn't you handle this? Junior sister Qingcheng is being misled. Mei Sangu gave Zhuofan a cold look, speaking to the seated Luo Yunchong. Girl, leash your servant from his obnoxious flirting. Hey, old bat, it's you who should tighten the chain on those she-dogs. Their incessant barking is driving us nuts. Luo Yunchong bit back. The audience gaped. The Luo clan just taunted an emperor's representative. How cool is that? Just who are they? Mei Sangu was nearing her 10th millennium yet just got insulted by a wee girl. Of course she'd explode, slapping the table and flaring her aura at Luo Yunchong. You have some nerve, dumb girl. Whoosh. A figure flashed in front of Luo Yunchong, spreading his cold aura to counter Mei Sangu's temper. Meeting in an explosive clash, Mei Sangu shook, her heart in shock. Bali Yu fell back, glaring at Mei Sangu in challenge. Old bat. Not bad at all. How did this miss? Mei Sangu sized Bali Yu up, shocked by the second. The rest were baffled while also raising the Luo clan's importance in their minds. Mei Sangu was a tested and true emperor stage expert, but Bali Yu was a mere spirit king. Despite the gap, they were matched. No wonder the Luo clan joined the 8 emperors fray. The representatives' hearts sank, no longer dismissing them. The audience was restless. Bali Yu took a deep breath, turning to Zhuofan, who only had eyes for Chu Qingcheng. Steward Zhua, you caused this mess, yet you're flirting to the side? Yeah, Steward Zhua, you said you wanted to bet, so we came along. Why should you stay behind and relax while I'm taking it over for you? Luo Yunchong gave him a smile, her tone bitter. Steward? Chu Qingcheng started. Why your Luo clan steward? The rest were astonished. How did a bone-tempering cultivator end up being a magnate steward? Don't they care about power when headhunting? Uh, I'll explain later. With a wide smile, Zhuofan rushed back. Leaving Chu Qingqing in confusion, Zhuofan reached Luo Yunchang and she casually seated her seat. Li Jingtian tidied it up before gesturing to Zhuofan to take it with utmost respect. The audience was staring dumbstruck as the Luo clan steward took the seat of honor. But why? The city lord gave him a long look of confusion, but knew he was valued, so he also treated the steward with the respect he deserved. Regardless of cultivation, Sir Zhua, so young and so promising. Thank you, city lord. We may now begin the bet. Gladly. The city lord nodded and addressed the 8 people at the table. With all participants in order, I shall now speak of the rules. First of all, money dictates the chips you hold. The more you have, the easier to advance and become the house. The poorest needs to win bouts with the house to stay in the game. The instant he loses, it's game over. Mei Sangu squinted. Which means? You take turns playing? The city lord snickered. Let's say, for example's sake, that we both take our treasures. If mine proves to be worth more, then I'm the house and you have to bet against me. Win, and you get everything to bet with the next contender. Beat all the others, and you'll be crowned victorious. The people gasped. So before we get to challenge you, we first have to fight among each other? That means all the treasures might end with you while we get nothing. Yes, such a possibility exists, but it so happens that I'm the holder of the priceless Nether Sea map. All the treasures here can't hope to come close to it. That makes me, as a matter of course, the final house. Before that, however, give your all. One more thing, the first bettor has an advantage. He might have 2 treasures and can be a house. Their faces sank and gnashed their teeth. The gambling emperor was evil, getting all of them to duke it out and still having a high chance of losing everything at the very end. The map was his, and so would be their treasures. We'd get nothing. Folding, however, was not an option either. Stealing, on the other hand, would leave dire consequences to everyone here. It was a different item from that 9 Serenity's secret records. It had instant use. While this was merely a guiding tool, it was not worth waging war over something so vague. The contenders finally made their decision, nodding. Let's do this. Whoosh. Mei Sangu revealed her prismatic cup. This is Ruby Cloud Sect's core treasure, purple gold glazed cup, a 4th grade sacred weapon. The demonic emperor allowed me to bring the demonic gauntlet, a 3rd grade sacred weapon. An old man with black hair sighed as he threw in a claw with dark energy oozing out. He knew it was less than the purple gold glazed cup. Zhuofan's eyes shook. It was his finest work back in the day, given to his treacherous disciple. To think I'd see it here. The other representatives took out their own as well, some 4th, other 3rd grade. The highest, however, belonged to the Sword Emperor, Howling Sword, 5th grade. The others gasped. This guy can become the 2nd house. He doesn't seem to mind using something so valuable in a bet. The city lord went by the book as he turned to Zhuofan. Luo clan, the item of your choosing. Magnates like them only have money. They have no legacy, only building their wealth over time. Humph. Fang Min found the right moment to mock them. Zhuofan smiled, and in a shower of light, a draconic roar echoed. The gaudy glow had them gawking. Chapter 1204, Brutal. Chapter 1204, Brutal. Proofreader, Papatonks. Clink. The light trailed over their heads and landed on the table, revealing the glorious and ostentatious 3-meter-long sword, with even a dragon scale on it, no less. The city lord's face twitched. Peak 5th grade sacred weapon? It's close to 6th grade even, a true rarity in the sacred domain. That's far from all. City lord, would you care to take a closer look upon the way it was made? This is by no means amateur work, nor your average 5th grade sacred weapon. Luo Yunchang raised an eyebrow in pride. The city lord bobbed his head. Indeed, young Miss Luo is right. The maker has instilled his peak sword arts into it, making it even have a spirit. Incredible. I fear not even a 6th grade sacred weapon might compare. It's a certainty, not just a possibility. Zhuofan grinned as he pointed out. City lord, look here, could anyone get their hands on such ingredients? The city lord took a closer look and gasped in shock. Why, you mean to say it's made with a scale from a dragon king from the Dragonlands? The audience widened their eyes and cried out. Even the representatives were shaken up as they stared in disbelief. They have the nerve to have a sacred weapon made of a dragon king scale? Do they have a death wish? Why, young Miss Luo, don't you know if the dragons from the Dragonlands find out? City Lord's face twitched hard. Barely finding the words to speak, Zhuofan waved off his concern. City Lord, relax, we don't fear them, which is why we've taken it out. A Dragon King is a peak 10th level spiritual beast, stronger than the average emperor. We took one's scales to make a weapon out of it, yet we'd be scared to let them find out? Ha ha ha. I see. City Lord gave a bright smile, his heart racing as his image of Luo clan grew and his mind dragons were kings among spiritual beasts, with many powerful beings among them. Not even the 7 sacred mountains would mess with them, but the Luo clan did. Just who has their backs? Everyone's disdain of them was cut short then, and there the City Lord gave them a long look then declared, People, I believe you all know the value of a 5th grade sacred weapon. All of your treasures combined can't even match Luo clan and Sword Emperor's items, each, with Luo clans being slightly better. Besides me, Luo clan is the final house, followed by the Sword Emperor representative, then all of you according to your treasures. Objections? It's plain to see this is fair, so of course there aren't any. A grimacing old man took the demonic gauntlet as he turned to savage-looking young master, Wraith Scholar. Your shadow veil is 4th grade. As the demonic emperor's representative, bet with me, with you being the house. The scholar had a creepy smile as he fanned himself with a ghastly fan, nodding, Sure, I shall be happy to face thousand-faced devil. You ask first. No, it's your right as the house. With pleasure. Pa. Snapping the fan closed, the scholar said, Answer me this. Was it the demonic emperor the one who destroyed the 36 gates of Demon Light Castle 3 years ago? Thousand-faced devil's face shook, stammering, Wraith Scholar, why do you say that? Didn't you investigate and found it to be the Falcon Emperor? Yes, we thought so as well, but after fighting among each other and suffering losses, it was the demonic emperor who took advantage of the gap to step in. How do you explain that? What's so strange about them relying on the demonic emperor for protection to avoid casualties? None, actually, but in our war, neither side won, with the prideful demonic emperor expanding his domain for thousands of miles. It baffled both of us. Wraith Scholar snickered as he stared thousand-faced devil down. You're his right-hand man, so I would like to hear it from you. Spare us both the trouble of lying. It won't work. Everyone here knows, I'm sure, just that there is no proof. The gambling emperor is known to be fair at the gambling table. If his people judge it to be a lie, you shall become the loser. Taking a deep breath, thousand-faced devil eyed the cold city lord. He already had a decision in mind and knew the truth fine. I admit it to be the demonic emperor's doing. But that's because I only needed that cleared up. You win. Wraith Scholar snickered as he pushed his treasure over. The Wraith Emperor will be sure to join the Falcon Emperor to settle this debt with the demonic emperor. Tell him to be ready for a reckoning. Thousand-faced devil's face twitched as he took it. I will tell him. Farewell. Wraith Scholar stood up and cupped his hands. Thank the gambling emperor for his fairness. I shall now take my leave. The others looked puzzled as he went. Isn't this supposed to be a riddle? How come it became truth or dare? Bam! Thousand-faced devil slapped the table in anger. City Lord, is this the gambling emperor's intention? The gambling emperor only proposed betting, not involving himself in your issues. Now Sir has 2 items and can be the house. The city lord smiled. Thousand-faced devil was outraged, but he held it in. Gambling emperor knew all along what happened then. He kept it hidden for so long not to gain hatred. With the 2 having no proof of hanging it over the demonic emperor's head, they could do nothing today. However, he had no choice but to admit it, thus giving them an excuse. It wasn't his fault though, since the demonic emperor gave him strict orders to get that map. If he denied it, he would have gotten back only to die. The demonic emperor's cruelty was well known. Taking a deep breath, thousand-faced devil could only keep going. The demonic emperor was already tough enough not to fear the other 2. All that mattered was the map, so he turned to the Falcon Emperor's representative to shout, I'm the house now, please. The grizzled old man met his challenge. Thousand-faced devil did have some skill, though, using his cunning and favoritism to pave his way forward and win many treasures. He was now facing Ruby Cloud Sect. How many stars are in the sky? With so many shining, who can say? Can you? Sangu retorted. Thousand-faced devil snickered and shook his head. I don't either, making this a draw, but I'm the house, so that makes it my win. Hand it over. Thousand-faced devil threw the purple gold glazed cup in his bag. Ruby Cloud Sect's group was stumped. Sangu stammered, wait, I've yet to ask my question. You did? Or does that not count? City Lord smiled and shrugged. Gambling town is fair. Your question was the same as his, and with neither knowing the answer, the house won. The women grimaced. Zhuofan chuckled. The devil now turned to the old man with the white eyebrows, taking out his treasures as he spoke with hatred. Brother Liu, listen closely to my question. Wait. The old man smiled and said, I'm the house, so I go first. Go ahead. Guess how many toes I had on my 5,000th birthday? Thousand-faced devil looked down at his shoes, making a wild guess. 10. I've never heard of you suffering heavy wounds and shouldn't have anything cut off. The old man grinned, taking out a shoe to reveal all his 5 toes. Then his eyes shone and pointed. A bloody toe splattered on the floor. The old man sweated as he laughed. Today's my 5,000th birthday and only have 9 toes. You lose, thousand-faced devil. That's brutal. Thousand-faced devil gave him a long look, wanting to refute, but he pushed the treasure over. Fine, old man, I lost. Now Liu was the house. Even in a draw with Sword Emperor, thousand-faced devil would still lose. Kid, it's our turn. The old man wiped his brow, dragging his bleeding foot to Zhuofan with a forced smile. What welcomed him was a smirk. Chapter 1205. Headache. Chapter 1205. Headache. Proofreader. Papatonks. Looking down at the blood, the ghastly scene made even Ruby Cloud Sect's girls cover their eyes. It shocked them to the core to find someone so resolute to even harm themselves. Zhuofan looked back up, giving the old man a snicker. Senior, you're playing hardball. Kid, youths have little experience. There are plenty of savager people in the world than me. You'll meet them later. Letting this little frighten you proves you have no place on this stage. Ha, sir's lesson is right. I hope sir will go easy on me. You're making it hard for these old bones. The Sword Emperor must have that map. I urge you to withdraw. Kid, you don't understand the world of adults. The old man patronized. Chu Qingcheng was worried for Zhuofan. He looked wise and bold, making her feel like a kid would be no match for him. I just hope he won't push it and get hurt in the process. Zhuofan's eye held an eerie glow as he offered, please. Kid, the young fear nothing, but will only end up broken. Ha. The old man stared at him, extending his wounded leg. Kid, the same question. How many toes did I have on my 5,000th birthday? Zhuofan snickered. With senior having 9, then it must be 9. Ha, kid. You think I wouldn't cut another off? The old man drew his fingers and shot for the leg, and another bloody toe fell. The old man bore through the pain, looking smug. Wrong, it's 8. The people sighed against such a question. No one could guess as long as he keeps cutting off his toes. The kid met his match in an aged scoundrel. Whoosh! A black light flashed, and the old man Liu shook. Below him, blood spilled like a flood, followed by a searing pain. The old man howled as he fell to the ground, leaving 2 intact feet in the pooling blood. Zhuofan stood across, holding a black long sword glowing eerily. I was wrong after all. I mustn't know anything, I guess. But it looks like senior was wrong as well. You didn't have 8 toes on your 5,000th birthday, but none. Ha. Everyone shivered as their eyes bugged out. The old guy was the Sword Emperor's representative, that nobody dared to offend. Now a bone-tempering nobody did. Wait, how did he get the strength to cut an emperor's feet off? Chu Qingcheng was frightened. She never saw Zhuofan cut someone down, but the familiar scene had her hesitating. Is he the same brat I've been cursing all this time? Senior uncle, are you all right? Su Jinsheng rushed to his side, then glared at Zhuofan. Why you dare? Zhuofan cut him off, Since Senior can change the outcome, why can't I? City Lord, how do we settle this round? Tai. The City Lord's face twitched, giving him an odd look. He didn't think this kid with low cultivation had it in him to be so cruel. Zhua Fan grinned. I knew City Lord was fair. But that was his question, and now comes mine. Although, Senior doesn't look to be in shape to continue. Switch, maybe? Humph, rotten punk. I'll take his place to bet with you. Su Zhenxing gnashed his teeth and stepped forward. He then felt his senior uncle pulling his sleeve as he lay in his own blood. Looking worried, Senior Uncle. Ashing, you're not his match. The old man was trembling as he looked at Zhua Fan's vile smile. I was wrong. He's no youth, but a conniving old monster. Boy, you won't win. Su Zhenxing couldn't believe his ears. He was a great peak stage spirit king, yet he couldn't win against a bone-tempering punk. The other youths on stage looked baffled. Only a few veterans caught his meaning. Mei Sangu as well could see that Zhua Fan's eyes were beyond shifty. Her opinion of him changing into Fright the Slash was too clean and without hesitation, coming at an emperor no less. Such nerves and savagery didn't come from just anywhere. It was an edge forged in endless bloodshed, and over a mountain of corpses. How could a bone-tempering cultivator wield such experience? The old man gripped Su Zhenxing hard, gasping for breath as he gnashed his teeth. City Lord, we give up. You bet with him. Boy, this isn't over. I will get you for taking my 2 feet. Anytime. Zhua Fan turned towards City Lord. Care to ask, City Lord? The City Lord looked grave. Steward Zhua. Now I know why you wield a clan's power. Having the skills to handle the job? Thanks. Here's my question. The City Lord paused. This is the Nether Sea map. I want to know that if you got the map, how sure are you of finding it? Everyone flinched at the question, focused on the two with rapt attention as they waited for the answer. Zhua Fan smiled. I didn't even see the map, so how sure I can be? Like with any treasure map, I'll be doing my best. Is that enough? A perfect answer, since this answer comes from your heart. Take it. The City Lord handed the map to Zhua Fan, looking over the aged paper. Zhua Fan said, just like that? I've yet to ask my question. You're the house and have the highest chance of winning? Steward Zhua's methods opened my eyes. I'm sure I can't answer it anyway. I lose, ha ha ha, the City Lord said. Zhua Fan paused, then showed a vague smile as he stashed the map in his ring. Thanks. Zhua Fan waved and left with his group. Under the hard stares of everyone there, one looked forlorn, stuck between women as she sighed. He won't even look at me once. On the road, Bali Yu looked back to see no one, smirking. Here I thought the map was something special, but we got it easy. Easy? Zhua Fan chuckled. Easy meant those in there wouldn't have bled for it. Didn't you notice how pained the representatives were when taking out the treasures? Since it's so important, why isn't there anyone tailing us? Because it's just a map and not something you can use either. It's common practice of those relics to see the prize before jumping in. After we find the Nether Sea, those bastards are sure to charge. All of them. Zhua Fan sneered. The map is no treasure, but a headache. They're all waiting for us to find the real deal before robbing us blind. Even the gambling emperor is no exception. Why do you think he never tried looking for it then? He had the map. I bet he couldn't figure the map out, so he want to find another that can while he lurks from behind. Why then would the other 7 go through such trouble? The other emperors haven't looked over the map, and while they knew it was hard to understand it, they still want to try. Such is greed. If he did unravel it by any chance, wouldn't he get everything? Just like Zhua Fan trailed off back then, in 9 Serenities' tomb, he unraveled its mystery. Bali Yu nodded and said, since it's a headache, why did we fight for it? Couldn't we be another lurking shadow instead? Oh, Yu. The shadows are all seasoned and famed geezers. Our Luo clan has yet to make a name for itself in sacred domain. Why hide? We're only using the map to knock on the 8 emperors' doors and enter the fray. Without it, there's no way for us to enter the 8 great lands of the sacred domain. Oh, so that's why. Who do we go to first? The demonic emperor, Zhao Chun. Zhua Fan's eyes shone, his smile evil. Zhua Fan asked in a frown, speaking of, I had elderly look into Qingqing's past. Any news? None so far. He said he'll start once we're safe out of Gambling Town. Tell him to do it now. The Gambling Emperor's group is watching over the town. No one will try anything under their watch. Zhuofan said, also, with my other son here, safety won't be an issue. Tell him to get on it right away. Zhuofan patted Bali Yuyu's shoulder and left. She raised an eyebrow, looking oddly at Sword Child. Son? You became a son as well? I can't. You might say that I've been with my father day in and day out, every minute of the hour. Sword Child showed her a toothy grin. Why? Wanna be my mommy? Bali Yuyu flushed and looked away, feeling defeated. Why does he only ever care about her? Zhuofan reached the dazzling lounge, meeting with a hesitant Chu Qingqing pacing around. Qingqing, how did you get here? Zhuofan. His voice pulled her away from her worries, and then she hung her head. Her shoulders slumped. Zhuofan knew why. Is something wrong? Zhuofan, just speak your mind. After all, there's no secret between husband and wife, right? How irritating, calling me your wife. Chu Qingqing glared at him with red cheeks, but her sadness returned once more. Zhuofan, I just don't know where to begin. Senior Aunt May wants you to give us the map. Zhuofan's brow shook, giving her a long look. Qingqing, you're putting me in a difficult position. You're my wife, yes, but the map belongs to my lord. I'm but a steward. Clan head saw greatness in me and took me in as steward. I could never betray his trust by taking what is his. I feel the same. Despite being a steward, you rely on others. Senior Aunt is asking for too much. Chu Qingqing paused, then gnashed her teeth. Forget it. You don't have to feel bad, Zhuofan. I'll just tell them I failed. It's only going to get me a nagging at most. Chu Qingqing walked away, but Zhuofan caught her shoulder. Wait, you're saying they're going to fault you for this? Yeah, Senior Aunt won't be hard on me, but my senior sisters will mock and deride me. Chu Qingqing muttered. He took the forlorn Chu Qingqing into his arms and said, My poor Qingqing, my dear wife, what did you do to suffer so? Why don't you leave Ruby Cloud Sect and live with me? How could I? Master and Senior Aunts are so nice to me. I can take a bit of scolding. I could never betray them. Zhuofan knew this was coming and faked difficulty. While I can't give them the map, as long as they'll give you to me, I'll have them take a look at it. I'll have you know I'm an established painter. Give me to you? Yeah, just mention it to them. It's their problem if they agree or not. It won't have anything to do with you, and they won't scold you. Zhuofan snickered, holding her close and cooing, Dear wife. I'm not saying that to demean you, only thinking of being together again. I would give anything for us to live together. Chu Qingqing smiled, swooning, but then she scrutinized him. All right, but how did you cut Elder Lu's legs on the betting stage? You're not an emperor, but a bone-tempering cultivator. I know. You must all be disgusted with me. No, ever since then, Senior Aunt May changed her opinion of you. How did you do it? Simple, really? Zhuofan snickered. Speed, ferocity, and accuracy. He was just ahead of me and complacent in his victory. I just needed something sharp enough, and the result was clear to all. Not even a saint could escape from that. That can't be it. Senior Aunt said that a sword so fast could only be polished through mountains of corpses. How can you, at the bone-tempering stage? I'll be honest with you. I used to be a butcher. Zhuofan chuckled. Millions of pigs must have crossed these hands. Isn't that a mountain of corpses? Your senior aunt has good eyes. Ha ha ha. Chu Qingqing nodded and exclaimed. I see. Only there's a big difference between a murderer and a butcher. About the same, just look at people as pigs to the slaughter. You've been gone for quite a while now. Should you head back? Tell them what I said and maybe we'll seal the knot. I'll become the mighty son-in-law of Ruby Cloud Sect. Ha ha ha. Annoying. Zhuofan urged Chu Qingqing to leave, flirting while at it. Chapter 1207, Star Chart. Chapter 1207, Star Chart. Proofreader, Papatonks. In the nether sea's depth, the endless hellhold, where lost souls roam, their fate foretold who dares to tread upon our shore, shall be condemned to suffer more with mortal eyes forever blind. In the abyss, their souls confined Schwanger held a black paper covered in squiggles in an elegant room, reading the first line at the top. Murong Shui and Luo Yunchang frowned. Murong Shui ventured. These lines are supposed to unravel the Nether Sea map secrets? It should, but what do they mean? Luo Yunchang held her forehead, feeling tired. The map is covered in black dots that make no sense. The only clue is this verse. It's been 3 days already, and we still couldn't find anything. Murong Shui shrugged. If it were that easy, the gambling emperor wouldn't have wagered it. Zhuofan was right. If he couldn't read it, give it to someone else and reap the rewards while they fight. Regardless of who can read it, he would win in the end. It seems insidious experts aren't local to only mortal domain. The ones in sacred domain are each more twisted than the last. The other girls nodded. If there was one difference between sacred domain and mortal domain, that was power. The cruel and manipulative mentality was still thriving here as well. Creak. The door opened and someone came in. Schwanger, did you find anything? It's fine either way. We about to set off for Devil Mountain. Sorry, big brother Zhua, we can't do anything. Don't let it bother you so much. You had the map for 3 days while the gambling emperor must have gotten it decades ago and still couldn't figure it out. It'd be stranger if you managed to do what an emperor couldn't. Zhuofan didn't mind it, taking the map and giving it a long look. Whatever, I never planned on using it anyway. It's only a means to an end, to find that kid. Humph. Zhuofan folded the map. Schwanger jumped just then. Wait. Zhuofan froze. What? I think I got something. Schwanger yanked the map from his stiff hand and stared hard at a black circle in a corner. Yes, why didn't I see it sooner? The black spots are just so many that this small area doesn't stand out at all. This part is actually the Phoenix constellation. Zhuofan asked, What's that? The Phoenix constellation is a group of stars in the southeast corner of the night sky, focused on conflicts. A change there is chaos and fighting in the world. But with the star group being so large, how come it's so small on this map? If you hadn't folded it making it stand out, I wouldn't have seen it. You're saying this map covered in black dots is a star chart? Zhuofan opened the map again and gave it a careful look. He noticed some familiar star groups as well, just that it was hard to single them out with all the dark spots. Yes, the map is a depiction of stars but heavily concealed. That's why none of the other experts could read it. We now know it's a star chart, but how do we find the Nether Sea's location? Schwanger mulled it over then jumped. Big brother Zhua, didn't Patriarch give you that treasure? Didn't he say to use it whenever you're looking for something or someone? Right, I totally forgot about it. Since it's a star chart, Sovereign Yun, who is adept in reading stars, his treasure has to help. Zhuofan took out a black orb. How is he to use the two of them together, though? The black orb came with an answer. The map showed a reaction as the orb appeared, giving off gray energy before vanishing. Zhuofan's eyes bugged out. Where'd it go? The black orb flared black and trembled. Suddenly, all of their eyes went black and they fell flat on the floor. Waking up, they found themselves in a black area filled with stars. Where are we? What are we doing here? Luo Yunchang cried out. Zhuofan was calm. Since he had been here before, no need to panic. Our spirits have gone into the orb. It won't harm us. Look, the map. Schwanger drew their attention and pointed at the map, expanding to the point of covering the entire area. The small black circles on the map now had stars shooting between them, turning it into an actual map. Zhuofan cheered. It's the Sacred Domain's map, but where's the Nether Sea? Over there, I think. Schwanger pointed at a bright cluster. The poem mentioned lost souls. There is where the Death Star is, always dark and shining only when death is about to take you. Since it's bright, then that must be the Nether Sea's location, a place where lost souls are buried. Zhuofan was thrilled. Yes, that must be it. To think we'd figure it out in the end where the Nether Sovereign is. It was worth taking the map. The girls were beaming as well, with Schwanger looking worried. Big brother Zhua, do you plan to go there? Of course. A sovereign's place is a special area anyone in sacred domain would drool over. Nether Sea is going to be very dangerous. Schwanger sighed, raising a finger. Big brother Zhua, look closer. What do you think this map is? Zhuofan raised his head and shook as his face grew hard with the stars on the map joined together. They drew the map of the sacred domain. but on the edge of it, they showed only one character, death. Zhuofan, the Nether Sovereign is warning us not to seek out the Nether Sea. Or Luo Yunchang looked worried as well. Zhuofan paused in thought, then smiled. Well, of course, a sovereign seat of enlightenment would have some difficulties. Am I just going to miss out on this grand chance at witnessing the Nether Sovereign's seat of enlightenment? Zhuofan. All right now, let's go back. Luo Yunchang wanted to say more, but Zhuofan stopped her. He had them brought back to their bodies, and the black orb hummed. Releasing the map, they got up and looked at the map with conflicted emotions. Zhuofan picked it up casually and placed it in his ring, but then doubt clouded his mind. Why did Sovereign Yun's treasure react with the Nether Sea map? He also warned me that his treasure can find any place and anyone. Qingqing is the one I wanted to find. As for the place, maybe it's... Zhuofan felt like someone was using him knock. Ahem, Steward Zhua. Young Miss Chu came. I got it, elderly. Zhuofan put away the orb and left. The girls watched him while recalling the Nether Sovereign's warning and worried again. They even forgot about their jealousy. Zhuofan reached the lounge and saw Chu Qingqing and put on a smile. Haha, wifey, it looks like we're made for each other. Are you ready for a long night with your husband? Miscreant. Chu Qingqing blushed and huffed. Zhuofan said, wait, they didn't agree? Regardless of what, I'm not something. Chu Qingqing pouted, and so they were alone and whispered, Zhuofan. Senior Aunt May said to give the map first, even a copy. As for us, she needs to return to the sect and tell Master before. Chu Qingqing looked embarrassed, acting all shyly. Zhuofan's eyes went cold. That biddy plans on welching out of the deal. But I'm not one to lose my head in front of a girl and fall for that. Zhuofan didn't let his thoughts show. All right, I'll bring it right away. Zhuofan was gone for moments, bringing a delicate box. Give it to Mei Sanga. What she wants is in there. Truly? Of course, our happiness is there as well. Zhuofan smiled. Chu Qingqing beamed and nodded as she left. But after a step, she paused and pecked his cheek. Running away with a flushed face, Zhuofan felt his cheek with a goony smile. Chapter 1208. The Draw Map. Chapter 1208. The Draw Map. Proofreader. Papatonks. Senior Aunt, I brought it. Chu Qingqing bounced happily in a courtyard. Calling in joy, the hopeful women had waited a long time to hear this. They welcomed her with Mei Sango in the lead, looking pleased and greedy. Fang Min and the others behind her were boiling in envy. Qingqing, you've done well. Where is it? Here. Chu Qingqing beamed and Mei Sango took the box with haste. Her entire body shaking. Fang Min's tone dripped with vitriol. The day finally came. Junior sister's first honey trap mission. Though she lacks passion, only ending up with a copy instead of the real thing. I would have done it hands down. Senior sister, I didn't use any traps. We truly... Chu Qingqing lowered her head bashfully. Besides, the map is definitely with the clan head. If it went missing, he'll have to answer for it. He's already taking enough risk giving us a copy. We can't just... Mei Sanga was upright and honorable as she nodded. Yes, the boy shows his deep affection by doing this. We shouldn't be hard on him, since he couldn't do it anyway. It's good we at least got a copy, huh? Mei Sanga grinned from ear to ear as she was eagerly opening the box. Senior Aunt, what do you think then of his request? I'll tell Senior Sister once we get back. No rush. We'll do as Senior Aunt says. Chu Qingqing gave a sweet smile, lowering her head and fiddling with her clothes. She was like a chipper child that couldn't show her enthusiasm. Fang Min seethed at the side. What's so great about being with some ignorant and lousy punk? That's no reason to be content. A weird shout drew Fang Min's attention. Looking over with joy. What is it? Senior Aunt, is the map bad? No way. Zhuofan wouldn't lie to me. Chu Qingqing started and rushed to see. She didn't worry about the map though, but that this would get her senior aunt to flip out. Mei Sanga had a deep frown, holding a shriveled paper with yellow lines on it. It looked like a map, sure, but a map of what? All those random lines made it hard to decipher. I knew the Nethersea was cryptic, but to think that not even I can make sense of any of it. Senior Aunt, you actually believe it to be real? Fang Min looked it over. Maybe the punk just drew something random. Few have seen the Nethersea map, with neither one among us. It'd be strange not to fool us. Chu Qingcheng jumped in his defense. Senior Aunt, Zhuofan was thoughtful the entire time, and even promised me to do his best in copying it to make sure it's identical. Senior sister is just making things up. I'm making it up? You tell me then, what kind of map is that? We can't make anything of it. Minner. Mei Sangu glared, taking the map with joy. The fact you can't makes it real. The Nethersea would have been a famous attraction by now if everyone could read it. I can also feel the kid's sincerity through this copy. What do you mean, Senior Aunt? Look, there's not a mark of a brush being used when drawing it. It's not uneven like others. Mei Sanga held her head high as she claimed, if he was faking it, then he would have left clear signs of drawing. With the Nethersea being so special, there's no way the map was drawn with a brush. The more mystical the lines, the more genuine it is and proves his sincerity. These yellow stains as well, that must be where the Nethersea is. All that's left is reading it. Mei Sangu paraded the map before the girls, leaving them speechless. Staring at the random and fading lines had them baffled. Chu Qingcheng looked pleased as punch though. Fong Min reeled, feeling like throwing up her lunch. She pointed at the map. What the hell did the punk use? That paper reeks of pee. Really? Mei Sangu gave it a sniff, then flinched with a wince. Yeah, just what did he use? It doesn't look like ink at all. The strands drifting in the wind, but then came the second strike, fearful as he was now. A whirlwind kick came from below. Aiming to relieve him of his head, thousand-faced devil felt death nearing and leaned sideways to dodge and jump 1,000 meters back, away from the danger looking ahead. The sight shocked him stiff. The one who almost took his life was none other than the scrawny child. His kick did not touch him, but the force behind it unleashed a sword wave that reaped 10 lives. The bodies turned to mist, cutting thousand-faced devil's 100 spirit kings to 90 SSS. Gasping, everyone went pale. Thousand-faced devil was shaken to the core, his bravery gone as he looked at sword child in utter dread. It was beyond him how a 7-year-old wielded such deadly power. Is he even human? Thousand-faced devil felt his worldview come crashing down on him. Sword child was, of course, a sovereign weapon, sharp and deadly. Not even a sacred beast could match his toughness, let alone humans. Boy, you're quite springy for an old man. Sword child huffed, snickering at thousand-faced devil. The latter felt his skin crawl, then noticed the casual Luo clan Bali Yuyu, the pseudo-emperor, didn't lift a finger, with only the little freak causing so much damage. This made it so the Luo clan had 2 emperor-level experts and would be deadly if the others joined as well. His advantage in this highway robbery had now flown out the window. Thousand-faced devil sighed, thinking of backing off, but a look at the glaring Bali Yuyu and sword child told him he had to pay for starting this. At least an emperor had an emperor's advantage. A spirit king couldn't cover. Thousand-faced devil's eyes flashed, and he made a sign. As his hands moved, ghastly faces appeared in the air. Imperial mark, thousand faces slaughter. Thousand-faced devil flew in the air and then vanished. The wind stirred and 1,000 golden, 100-meter tall ghastly faces appeared from above. Now you know why they call me Thousand-faced devil. Thousand-faced devil was hidden among those faces, cackling. My imperial mark is made of a spirit king level soul attack for every face. Not a full attack, but 80% strong at the very least. Now I have 1,000 men army. Boy, your monsters might be tough and can live through this, but what about the rest? Especially you, Steward Zhua, and your young miss. You're too weak and an easy target. Know when to give up. Hand over the map. Bam! Sword child waved and smashed a face in disdain. Nothing but parlor tricks, crumbling at a touch. Hi, I told you. It's not for you too. With your strength, you can beat one. But what about 1,000? Also, my faces can reform after beaten. How long will you last, I wonder? Following his creepy laughter, another face formed, completing the set of 1,000. Sword child waved, making the air warp from the heat. Then let's see which will last longer, your faces or my searing strikes. Humph, decimating sword art, rampant inferno. Who? Fires sparked to life out of nowhere throughout the sky, making the faces tremble and crumble to dust. The 1,000 faces were burned to nothing in an instant, with incessant cackling still coming from above. Only this time, it was one of agony. Sword Child showed his evil side as he sneered, "Now you know what I'm made of. Don't move." A shout caught their attention as a boiling hand grabbed Zhuofan's neck. Chapter 12:10, Two Heads. Chapter 12:10, Two Heads. Proofreader, Papatonks. Huff. 1,000-faced devil panted hard with a wan and sweaty face. A clear sign of weakness. Sword Child and Bali Yu flinched, only to relax the next moment upon seeing he picked Zhuofan of all the targets, not registering the casualness the others had. 1,000-faced devil roared, "Give me the Nether Sea map or it's off with his head." He gripped Zhuofan's neck tighter. The Luo clan didn't seem to care much. "Did you not hear me? Even in the bone-tempering stage, isn't he still your steward? Don't you care if he lives or dies?" Splitting art. "So you're a former assassin, senior?" 1,000-faced devil grew tense at the unexpected reactions, or lack thereof. The one to finally give him any attention at all was the same one who he held hostage, splitting your spirit into many to confuse the enemy, then snatching victory amidst the chaos. It must be quite the skill indeed for not even I to pick up on it. It also gives the enemy the chance to break them down one at a time. Knowing the spirit is exposed, even at the Spirit King level, it's still very fragile. Showing such weakness can be fatal in an Emperor stage battle. The devil met Zhuofan's taunting eyes and snapped, "What do you know of such a high-level battle? Shut your trap or I'll snap your neck." "Ha ha ha, you should have done that from the start, when you had the chance. A shaman assassin should be focusing on speed and killing, not on taking hostages. You doomed your assassin profession the instant you left killing aside." 1,000-faced devil gave him a long look, clueless about where he was getting at. "I'm an emperor and I'm supposed to kill a bug like him from the start? I control his life and can take it whenever I want. Why?" Crack. The snapping sound made 1,000-faced devil shiver, feeling his hand going numb and him being unable to move it. His eyes grew wide as he saw Zhuofan's right hand glowing red and gripping the same arm tight like clamps. "How can?" 1,000-faced devil's face twitched, wanting to squeeze his fingers and crush Zhuofan's neck. A shame his hand was frozen, unable to budge. It was, in fact, pulled away by an incredible force, out of his control. "Yu." 1,000-faced devil gawked at the hand gripping his, then at Zhuofan's creepy smile. Fear took its hold on his mind, roaring, "How can you have such power? A bone-tempering cultivator. Ha ha ha, I told you, your assassin career is at an end." Zhuofan's eyes grew cold, and he snapped his Qilin arm to the side. 1,000-faced devil's weakened body snapped from the shoulder as he flew away without his arm, leaving a bloody trail. Whoosh. Before he got to taste the agony of having his arm yanked out of his socket, something black flashed in front of his horrified eyes. A sword. Whoosh. A head rolled in the air, falling in a small hand. 1,000-faced devil's headless body spurted blood for a few moments, then plopped. His men saw their boss off like nothing and lost all courage, flying away in panic. Zhuofan's group let them go, holding them in disdain. "Of all the people here, taking Steward Zhuo hostage is like signing your own death warrant. Dad, here's his head." Sword Child presented the shocked and terrified head to Zhuofan. He nodded and put it in his ring before signaling the others to resume their journey. Minutes after they left, many men in black appeared at this bloodbath, before vanishing once more in a manor in Mist City. The city lord heard the scouts' report and turned pensive. "You're telling me the Luo clan had an easy time dealing with 1,000-faced devil's team? They definitely aren't a normal group to not care about the demonic emperor's opinion. Have you found anything about them?" "City lord, we've long since sent people to Joy Town, and there is such a clan there. But with the location being so remote, it'll be hard to find anything from their past. From the passing traders, we did find that the town has been around for thousands of years, far from the secular world and from the power struggles of the sacred domain. Why would this monster rise up now of all times, after thousands of years? And so flashy too." The city lord paused. "I'll need to report this to the gambling emperor. Something isn't right about this group, messing with the 8 emperor's people and even stealing their things." 2 months later, in a dark hall, Only a pair of eerie eyes were seen coming from the seat of honor, with the city lord kneeling below. Reporting gambling town's events, a bright smile appeared below the eyes. Ha ha ha, how amusing. Of all the famed 8 emperors, none won my gamble. The victor turned out to be some unknown clan from nowhere. Gambling Emperor, the Luo clan has many people of great talent. Their steward, Zhuofan, has low cultivation yet holds such a position. His conduct is calm and calculative, while the guards are firm and resolute. They're more than meets the eye. Of course, while life is a constant fight and luck plays a large role, by lacking strength as well, luck can only get you so far. I could never look down on such a clan. Ha ha ha. The gambling emperor smiled. So they killed the demonic emperor's men, inciting the butcher. What will his reply be? If they hold an emperor's power, they have no reason to fear. Otherwise, their choice is to seek their backer or find shelter with the other 7. This will make the next owner of the map known. Where will they go then? The city lord bowed. Gambling Emperor. The scouts following them say they're going toward Devil Mountain. What? Gambling Emperor finally showed a reaction, the eyes stunned for a moment. Having killed his men, the demonic emperor is bound to hunt them down till the end of days, and yet they're knocking at his door. What's the Luo clan up to? They believe that they have the power to fight with the demonic emperor and settle it? The gambling emperor frowned, with the city lord unable to provide an answer. Meanwhile, a lavish and jaded jar crumbled as it met the hard floor. An imposing youth wore a scowl in anger as he jumped to his feet and stared down at the shivering men in black below. Not only did you not get the Nether Sea map from Gambling Town, but of those I sent, one is missing and the other got killed by some nameless and unknown little group. No less? Demonic Emperor, sir, the Luo clan is a mystery that we can't deal with, one man ventured. Shaking like a leaf, unlike Zhuofan's calculative and deceitful nature, Zhao Chun was more of a petty and impulsive prick. Once in power, he never stopped lusting for more, expanding his domain. His handling was cruel as well. Worse than Zhuofan, his reckless reputation sent fear in his enemies, but also his men. Zhao Chun gave them a sinister smile. Can't deal with it? Thousand-faced devil took 100 spirit kings, yet couldn't handle one lousy clan? What use do I have of you then? Garbage. Zhao Chun roared, and the one who reported got split into bloody chunks with a splat. The others trembled in terror. Sir, please calm down. Humph, every day I hear the same thing. You only had to show a bit of courage and do what I told you to, and I wouldn't have to take my rage on you. Zhao Chun flicked his sleeve. What of the Luo clan? Where are they? We don't know. You don't? Demonic Emperor, sir. They killed Thousand-Faced Devil and we didn't try. Garbage. Zhao Chun threw his hand and more than 10 people went splat, covering the floor in blood and gore. The rest cowered back. A voice came from outside. Demonic Emperor. Someone's here to seek an audience bearing gifts. Gifts? Zhao Chun was curious. Bring it here. 2 boys walked in with 2 exquisite boxes and placed them on the ground. Zhao Chun flicked a finger and 2 bloody heads were revealed. Chapter 12:11. Protection. Chapter 12:11. Protection. Proofreader. Papatonks. Zhao Chun stared at the familiar faces, his shocked voice breaking the brief silence. Thousand-Faced Devil. Huang Fu Song? What are their heads doing here? Guard. Who brought them here? Demonic Emperor, sir. They call themselves the Luo clan of Joy Town and are outside the mountain waiting to see you. A guard rushed in, looking fretful in the face of Zhao Chun's rage. Zhao Chun's face twitched in disbelief. Luo clan? As in the same one? They dare bring my men's heads? They've gone too far. Seize them and drag them in here. I want to see what the hell they are up to. Yes. His men went to follow his orders and brought a man and a woman surrounded by black guards into the hall looking at his old place. It took Zhuofan back to the good old days. The only thing spoiling his reminiscing was seeing Zhao Chun unchanged after thousands of years. He showed a savage grin, yet bearing no hatred. Zhao Chun shivered as their eyes met, feeling an uncanny familiarity. His heart began to race with fear and even staggered back. One man in black bowed. Demonic Emperor, sir. They are the Luo clan's people that brought the heads. We await your orders. Leave. Zhao Qian never took his eyes off Shui Fan, losing all his anger as he gave a numb wave. All of you leave. Right? The men shared puzzled looks, finding demonic emperor's demeanor off, like he wasn't himself. It was their first time hearing his kind voice, so they left on the double Shui Fan. Bali Yuyu and Zhao Chun were the only ones left, as well as the bloody floor with the corpses. Shui Fan smiled at the stiff face, cupping his hands. Demonic Emperor, your reputation precedes you. I am Steward Zhua of the Luo clan. Here is my guard, Bali Yuyu. It's an honor to finally meet the great demonic emperor. Your name feels familiar. Zhao Chen squinted, lost for a moment before saying, not just the name, but also the character. No, it's not the same. He was never one to be casual, and never lowered himself to become some steward. No, it's definitely impossible for a dead guy. Ha ha ha. Shui Fan smiled. Demonic Emperor, what are you saying? Nothing. Zhao Chen snapped back to reality, his face going cold as he stared at the heads. Steward Zhua, was it? What is the meaning of this? Your show of force or challenge? No, Demonic Emperor, sir. This is the clan head's gift. He wishes for you to gladly accept it. Gift? You kill my men and bring me their heads, and you call it a fricking gift? Bam! Zhao Chen slammed the table in anger. No one does that. Explain yourself, or not only will you meet your end here, but the entire Luo clan will be wiped out. I'll take all your heads to trample them on the way to hell. Who? Zhao Chen's explosive aura swept the hall, making Bali Yuyu shiver back. The 8 emperors are way stronger than common emperors. Shui Fan faced the pressure, shouting as well, Demonic Emperor, sir, please hear us out. After that, you're free to take our heads without any complaint. Speak? Zhao Chen eyed them, stretching his collar. Shui Fan smiled. Demonic Emperor, sir, did you perhaps send someone to attack the Ruby Cloud Sect's disciples and steal their purple gold glazed cup? No. Zhao Chen said casually. After a moment, Shui Fan beamed. I thought so as well. The demonic emperor would never stoop as low as do something like this to the Ruby Cloud Sect leader, one of the 8 emperors. It would not only stain your name, but would make another strong enemy without any reason. Why ever go through all that grueling trouble? But he announced himself as one of demonic emperor's aides, dropping Sir's name while saying it was your idea all along. I did not want him to yammer on and make Sir's life worse, so I was swift in removing this bandit, to preserve Sir's name. Was I wrong? Shui Fan pointed at the first head. Smiling, Zhao Chen was non-committal. And Thousand-Faced Devil? Demonic Emperor, sir. Was it not you who instigated the Demon Light Castle issue 3 years back, making Wraith Emperor and Falcon Emperor wage war, gaining the most in the process? Nonsense. That was their own problem born from their animosity. What does that have to do with me? Zhao Chen's heart sank, denying everything. Shui Fan gave a natural nod. But of course, Demonic Emperor Sir could have never have done such a thing. Thousand-Faced Devil must have run his mouth in Gambling Town, making you the scapegoat. Now Wraith Emperor and Falcon Emperor joined hands to deal with you. I could not stand letting such a man live any longer. What? Zhao Chen darkened, then flicked his hand. Fine. Let those geezers come. I'm not scared of them. Shui Fan made a deep gesture of respect. Demonic Emperor Sir is so heroic, with those 2 beneath you. But what about 3 or 4 emperors? Ha ha ha. Fear not an able opponent, but an incompetent ally. With a foul aide like Thousand-Faced Devil and the other poisoning the well outside and earning Sir enemies, Sir is bound to become public enemy number 1. No one can face entire crowds by himself, even someone as heroic as Sir. Zhao Chen's face twitched, his fists clenched, his teeth grinding. As such, we took it upon ourselves and did Sir a favor by removing these scumbags. Didn't we do Sir a great favor? Shui Fan beamed. Zhao Chen stared into his eyes, still looking uneasy. These dogs might be in the wrong, but only I get to punish them, and not an outsider. With them dead, my forces weakened. How am I to handle it then? Demonic Emperor, sir. Out with the old, and with the new. It's no trouble at all if they're gone. Not when you have the Luo clan to fill in the gap, haha. Shui Fan gave a weird smile, bowing. Our clan head admires the demonic emperor's heroism, wishing to stand among the 8 emperors since young. So we came to join you. I ask that demonic emperor gives us a spot. Of course, we're not going to be like those two boneheads, for we are far superior than them in every way, be it in strength or handling matters. This way, they didn't die to outsiders, but removing the filth in Sir's stead. Zhao Chen shook hard, gasping, "You want my protection?" Of course, there's no reward without effort, which is why we went out of our way to showcase our results and receive Sir's protection. Zhuo Fan's hand shone and took out an aged paper. He offered it with 2 hands, making Zhao Chen jump in joy. "The Netherseam map?" "Yes, we know Sir wants it and went through hell and high water to bring it to Sir." Zhuo Fan smiled, glancing at the ghastly heads with derision. "Also, this is our chance to prove our use to Sir. The 2 lost their lives and couldn't get it while we did. I am confident Sir would be pleased to have us." Zhuo Fan nodded as he smiled wildly, but then he hesitated. "Why is it you chose me of all the 8 emperors? And don't tell me it's out of admiration or some flowery speech. I want the truth." "Demonic Emperor Sir is a man of many values. I knew we made the right choice." The 2 shared a nod before Zhuo Fan turned to Zhao Chen. "I'll be perfectly honest. The Luo clan has been hiding in Joy Town for millennium. To come out of that hole, we needed an emperor on our side. We had to make a choice from among them. Sir can also see that with our strength it'd be easy to have any emperor's favor. The first that took our notice was, of course, the head of the 8 emperors, the Sword Emperor. Alas, Sword Emperor has the highest demands and the greatest power. Like they say, it's better to be a leader among men than a grunt among giants. We feared that we had no room to grow under the Sword Emperor, giving up. As for the rest, they're all geriatric and washed up, pedantic and outdated, hardly able to help us rise among their people. Only Demonic Emperor Sir, with your youthful valor, is the perfect choice to work for, your right hand." Chapter 12:12, Give and Take. Chapter 12:12, Give and Take. Proofreader, Papatonks. Zhao Chen approved as he nodded, elated at the praise. "Good eye. I see your clan head is an educated man. I'm not one to brag, but among the 8 emperors, only I have such strength and right to be the head among all emperors. It's only a matter of time before the decrepit Sword Emperor will be replaced." That's what our clan head's been saying as well, although, yes, we killed 2 of Sir's men and going to another emperor would keep us safe, if only for a while before we'll suffer your retribution. Being the target of the demonic emperor's wrath is like having a viper stalking you. We'll never get a wink of sleep. Only under Sir's protection could we be friends instead and resolve this animosity. Zhuo Fan sighed, "Regardless of everything, our best choice had and always will be demonic emperor." Zhao Chen gave him a long look, good thinking and impeccable analysis. "Yes, you've made the perfect choice in coming here with these fools' heads. Who was it, though, that came up with this brilliant tactic?" Zhao Chen's eyes shone, somewhat eager. "Demonic Emperor Sir, Steward Zhua is our clan head's trusted man. With him helping clan head every step, it is only his duty to help clan head make a decision." That was Bali Yuyu's cue, and she came forward with a cupped hand. Zhuo Fan shook his head in modesty. "Please, I only offered simple advice. Clan head had the final say. Steward Zhua, take credit where it's due. As a bone-tempering cultivator, to stand next to clan head is only possible by showcasing your impressive talent." Bali Yu mocked, "Demonic Emperor Sir, please overlook Steward Zhua's paltry cultivation, for in the Luo clan, he even has clan head's ear. Otherwise, clan head's inclination would be towards the Sword Emperor with so many of our clan's guards practicing the sword." Zhao Chen stared hard at Zhuo Fan, only then noticing he was dealing with a bug belying his low cultivation. The guy was very well placed, in fact. This further proved his talents lay elsewhere. From what the woman says, the guy must be quite the deep thinker. Blasted, that's exactly the talent I'm missing. Zhao Chen walked forward, taking Zhuo Fan's hand with a smile. "Ha ha ha, it's so rare to find a true strategist these days, Steward Zhua. I truly need someone like you for Devil Mountain. Leaving it up to those fools will run all its millennium-long legacy into the ground." "Demonic Emperor Sir, you're too kind." Then the Luo clan. "Say nothing more. Of the 20 demon guards, 36 cities and 64 clans, as you replace thousand-faced devil, you shall be above every one of them. Zhao Chun slapped his chest, vowing, I shall declare the Luo clan as my loyal subjects, with Steward Zhua my right-hand man. Any that touches you will earn my wrath. Demonic Emperor, sir, shouldn't it be clan head who has my position? What's the difference? You help Luo clan head, and he helps me. Isn't it all the same? Why be so complicated about it? That goes beyond my authority. Shouldn't sir address clan head first? What's the point? What I say goes. Guard, prepare a feast to welcome Steward Zhua. Devil Mountain was all a cheer for the next 3 days, with Zhao Chun giving Zhua Fan a proper welcome. He also declared to all sacred domain that the Luo clan fell in with Devil Mountain. The Luo clan became the leader of the 20 demon guards, and Zhua Fan became Zhao Chen's personal advisor. Another 10 days passed, and Zhao Chun gave 20 towns under the Luo clan's supervision. Zhua Fan and Bailey Yu thus took their leave from Demonic Emperor to help the Luo clan handle the transition leaving the mountain. Zhua Fan looked back at the lush peak and sighed. I used to be all alone, with but a few arrays guarding the mountain. I never thought I'd see the day it would be crowded, no longer the paradise of old. That kid hasn't changed, in contrast, still fighting for power like everyone else. Humph, to think that in my time, even without any territory of my own, I was still the head of the 8 emperors. Imbecile, what are you doing going after so many things? You've brought nothing but shame to this famous mountain. What are you doing coming under his wing then? Bali Yu replied, shouldn't we be using others to finish him off? Now that we work for him, we're under his men's watch and won't be able to lift a finger against him. Zhua Fan smirked. In war you have to give first and then take. Any person or faction crumbles from within in the end, with the outside influence holding little effect on its fate. We are now like maggots inside his home, nibbling everything he has. Don't the 20 cities prove it? Ha ha ha. Zhua Fan walked with confidence. Bali Yu followed after him with a soft gaze in Gambling Town. The shocking news of the Luo clan joining Demonic Emperor reached everyone's ears in Miss City Lord's manor. The Gambling Emperor held a jade slip behind a curtain. Luo clan actually became the Demonic Emperor's first demon guard? This is too baffling, almost unbelievable. Gambling Emperor, they must have offered the map to quell Demonic Emperor's anger. No. Gambling Emperor waved, watching City Lord from beyond the curtain. I know his temper well, reckless, pig-headed, and quick to anger. The most the Luo clan could get out of that deal is survive, not become his guard, going as far as making him the head of his 20 demon guards. It makes no sense at all for a rash and hot-headed man to swing from rage to elation at the drop of the hat, especially that Demonic Emperor. Does that mean the Luo clan got a high status in Devil Mountain through other means? Definitely, for even giving the map without the animosity, they'd still wouldn't get placed so high. The deal stinks to high heaven. The Gambling Emperor squinted. Did the Demonic Emperor also mention in his declaration that he made the Luo clan's steward his right-hand man? Yes, that's him. But it's so strange. The Luo clan is now the first demon guard, and its representative should be their clan head, not the steward. Then everything must have had something to do with that steward. The Gambling Emperor smiled. How amusing. The steward is fascinating. Men, never leave him out of your sight. I want to know the full extent of his skills and what miracles he brings. Ha ha ha. Yes. The space warped. In a dark room, 2 shadows sat across from each other. Did you hear? That arrogant Luo clan that was in Gambling Town got the Demonic Emperor's protection. And aren't we going to act? Of course we are, but everything about the Luo clan is strange. Anything could happen. What's so great about some no-name clan showing up? Demonic Emperor made us lose half our lands. We have to take it back, on our titles as emperors. I heard that the 7 sacred mountains intends to move on to the 8 emperors. One of the weaker ones might even get replaced. Then, the man hesitated. Fine. Then if we have to strike, we'll go after the Demonic Emperor. The Luo clan wants to have a protector to spread its wings, but they've made the wrong choice. In the Ruby Cloud sect, a woman in her 40s sat in the main seat holding a yellow paper with a grimace. Junior sister, are you certain this is a copy of Nethersea map? Definitely. Just look at the vague lines and the faded landscape. No brush could ever leave such artistry behind. Mei Sanga looked proud as she explained. Her disciples bobbed their heads. Even Chu Qingqing. Mei Sanga was happy to give Chu Qingqing the credit. Senior sister, it's all thanks to Qingqing using a honey trap to get that boy to forget all dangers and making this copy. Senior aunt, that was not a honey trap. Didn't we clear that out? Chu Qingqing smiled as she implored her. Master, Zhuofan said he wanted me to leave the sect and have a normal life. Nonsense. You're the pillar of the sect. You can't just go with any man that talks to you. Mei Sanga glared at her. Chu Qingqing got anxious. But senior aunt, you clearly promised. What? I only said we'll return to report to senior sister. If she doesn't agree, that's that. You. That's enough. Looking at them all red, the woman raised a hand. Regardless of honey trap or Qingqing promising the boy, it no longer matters. This map is fake. Fake? That can't be. Look at the lines. Not made by a human, right? The woman sneered. To be so smug when the other fooled you so badly. No man made the map, true, but also untrue, since no brush was used. Mei Sanga blinked in confusion. What? Mei Sanga snatched the jade slip and gave it a quick read, her face fuming. Damn it. They must have given the real Nether Sea map for his status, so the dog would have a master. We can't do anything to him now. Fang Min and the rest were shocked. The Luo clan sure works fast, getting the demonic emperor's protection in such a short time. The leading woman shook her head. Don't worry, they won't be safe for long. When their protector falls, we'll get them and make them pay for Qingqing. What? The others blinked in doubt. 3 months later, Zhuofan handled the transition of the 20 cities Zhao Qian gave to the Luo clan, who happened to be under the two he killed. There would always be some trouble when such a change occurred, from some ignorant fools trying to take over or other such overambitious people. 3 months to settle all that was not nearly enough. The Luo clan, however, moved with power and speed. Adding to them Morong Lai, Lu Mubai, and the other sword kings. All the trouble became trifles. The 20 cities fell into their hands, finally making it officially Luo clan's second turf and sacred domain. Thousands of times bigger than Joy Town, it wasn't meant to last. As barely after the Luo clan set up their operations, they met a huge issue: the Three Emperors' War. Steward Zhua, Featherwind City has noticed suspicious activity outside its walls. A guard bowed before Zhuofan. Zhuofan frowned. Featherwind City is next to Wraith Emperor's lands. Do Wraith Emperor and Falcon Emperor prepare to move? Big Brother Zhua, do we act? Luo Yunhai came over to ask. Luo Sifan spoke with pride. Let them try. We have nothing to fear with the demonic emperor watching over us. The Luo clan isn't the only one fighting in this. We have reinforcements. Not happening. Zhuofan glared at the two. You think of yourselves shielded and want to fight them? Even with covered backs, it'll be our Luo clansmen who will die out there. Why should we take such losses? Luo Yunhai nodded. I can understand that, but we are at the border of the demonic emperor's lands. Are we to retreat if not attacking? Retreating will ruin this rare chance of getting in the 8 emperors conflict. Then, get the best of 2 worlds by watching them slaughter each other. This grudge is between the 3 of them, and we can stay clear. How is the question? Zhuofan mused with a flickering gaze. Another person burst in with a new jade slip. Steward Zhua, Demonic Emperor Zhao Chen requests your presence. I was about to go see him as well. Zhuofan grinned, taking the jade slip and leaving for Devil Mountain with Bali Yuyu. Taking 3 days to arrive, the demon guard knew them and let them in the hall. They bowed before Zhao Chen. Greetings, Demonic Emperor. Steward Zhua, please sit. Zhao Chen impatiently gestured at the chairs. Steward Zhua, I believe you know by now why I called for you. Having taken over the 20 cities I gave you. Zhuofan nodded. The Wraith Emperor's forces show increased activity. They have ill thoughts. Not just that, but they want to settle the score from years ago. Zhao Chen huffed and flicked his hand. The Falcon Emperor's men are acting up on the other side as well. The two must have planned it to pincer me. Do they really think they can beat me with this? Huh. Steward Zhua, I called for you to ask how the Luo clan is handling the 20 cities. Are you ready to block Wraith Emperor's forces? Zhuofan paused. Demonic Emperor, sir, the Luo clan is still new here, struggling to get all the local thugs in check. Now that the enemy is coming from outside, getting complete control in just 3 months is a little. All right, I know where you're going with this, but escaping this war is impossible. Now how many men do you need? I'll give them to you. I want to let them know that even with both against me, I'll still crush them. They want to settle things over? Humph, they're far from worthy. Zhao Qin's eyes shone with cruelty. Zhuofan muttered, Demonic Emperor, sir, the way I see it, avoiding a war is the best option. Chapter 12:14 Overwhelming Tactics. Chapter 12:14 Overwhelming Tactics. Proofreader, Papatonks. Why do you say that, Steward Zhua? Zhao Qin frowned. Zhuofan smiled as he stood, taking a couple of steps. When two fight, the third reaps the reward. Demonic Emperor, sir, is heroic, but against 2 others the odds aren't looking favorable. You may even win, but the losses will be devastating and turn into a loss in the end, while the other emperors will use this chance to seize Sir's lands. In short, war will only bring downsides. Like in the war between the Falcon Emperor and the Wraith Emperor, what did Sir do? You think I don't know that? Zhao Qin sighed. It's not I who started this fight, but the other 2 geezers coming at me. Not defending will be the same as handing over the land, losing not only territory but my name too. With the world seeing me weak, no one would turn to me for protection. Zhuofan nodded. Yes, by not fighting the losses will be greater, making the war a must. However, it shouldn't be Sir who fights. Who else then? They came especially to fight me. Let those lurking from the sidelines fight. That's the best tactic. Zhuofan wore a sneaky smile. Any that joins it has to suffer. Why doesn't Sir just have those spectators hop into the fray while you take their place instead, as the third party? Zhao Qin started. You want me to look for allies? But who would aid me at such a time? There's 2 emperors coming as well. Any allies I find, if I do find any, would at most give a lofty speech only to be a no-show when the war starts. Demonic Emperor, sir, it's not seeking allies, but adversaries. You fight alongside allies, unlike with adversaries. They do the work while we watch without lifting a finger. Steward Zhua, are you in your right mind? Zhao Qin stared hard, then cracked up. Ha ha ha, Steward Zhua, where are we supposed to find such nimrods? I don't know of any among the 8 emperors who'd be that stupid to waste his strength. Zhuofan smiled. Of course there aren't any foolish enough to do it, and recruiting adversaries comes with a price, even the 8 emperors. What price would that be? Zhao Qin asked. Zhuofan's grin widened, stressing every word. Demonic Emperor, sir, have you managed to decipher the Nether Sea map by any chance? You want to give the map? Not happening. Zhuofan shook his head, denying such an idea. The Nether Sea map is the only clue to the Nether Sovereign's seat of enlightenment. It's invaluable. Why should I just hand it over? What if they decipher it? The map is too abstruse for common eyes to unravel. The gambling emperor wouldn't have bet it otherwise. We're not going to use the real map either, but a copy. The real thing will stay with Sir. No, what if they can still crack it? We can just tamper with it, making it impossible. Tampering it, and they still won't notice? Demonic Emperor, sir, please take out the map and allow me a look. Zhuofan bowed, squinting. Zhao Qin finally relented and took out the map after a long pause. Zhuofan approached casually and pointed. Sir, the map has countless black circles. All we have to do is just add more here while taking there. When we make a copy, no one will figure it out, not even the gambling emperor. The right and left corners are similar as well, so we can just switch them with none the wiser. Even put side by side with the original, who would notice? You could stare at it till you go blind and still won't figure it out. Zhao Qin nodded and exclaimed, Steward Zhua's tactic is ingenious. With a few subtle changes on the already abstruse map, no one will notice. Now we have a bargaining chip, getting something for nothing. Ha ha ha. Only, who should we make a deal with? With who yearns for the map the most? Zhuofan Pace, in Gambling Town. The gambling emperor threw the map into a bet, so he won't value it. Or maybe he already owns a copy. The other representatives might want the map, only 2 yearn for it. The Ruby Cloud sect tried using a honey trap on me to give them a copy. The Sword Emperor's representative even cut off his own toes in the betting. Talking with him would be far more successful. Zhao Qin gave an approving nod. Sir is truly sharp. I'm fortunate to have you. I'll contact the two right away. One moment. Zhuo Fan intervened. Demonic Emperor, sir. No need to be hasty. All know our circumstances, and are sure to make heavy demands if we just go to them with the map. Heed my advice, sir, and they would be more than willing to work for us. Zhao Qin's face twitched, staring long at Zhuo Fan. Having sir with me is like gaining a gem. Then I'll leave the overwhelming alliance to sir. Just doing my duty, sir. Zhuo Fan bowed, exchanged a couple more words, and left with Bali Yuyu. His first goal was the Ruby Cloud sect, where Chu Qingqing was. The failed deal in the gambling town would be finished this time. Whoosh. Arriving before the Ruby Cloud sect's territory, a dozen girls blocked their way. With Fang Zmin in the lead, Zhuo Fan snickered, shouting, "Girlie, go tell them that I represent the demonic emperor and have come to see the enchanting empress on important business." Humph, rotten punk, like we haven't had enough of your tricks last time. Now you have the nerve to come to the Ruby Cloud sect? You're looking to die. Fang Min huffed, preparing to attack Zhuo Fan. Sisters, rip this arrogant bastard to shreds. Yes. The girls went on the offensive, aiming for Zhuo Fan. The heavy pressure befell Zhuo Fan, a bone-tempering cultivator, bound to flatten him. Whoosh. Bali Yuyu flashed in front, sending a casual ice sword wave at them. Bam. The dozen girls coughed blood and were flung away like flies. They should thank their lucky stars that Bali Yuyu went easy, or there would have been nothing left of them. Bali Yuyu sneered and Zhuo Fan stepped forward. I represent the demonic emperor. Attacking me is attacking, sir. Does Ruby Cloud sect want a war with Devil Mountain? Humph. The demonic emperor is cornered. Can he spare energy against another enemy? A mocking tone came, followed by a familiar figure. Zhuo Fan perked up. If it isn't Senior Aunt May, how've you been? You dare call me that? Just like Qingqing does. Zhuo Fan beamed without a trace of shame. Mei Sanga recalled Zhuo Fan giving her that foul handiwork and cursed, "Damn cretin, I have a score to settle with you for last time." TCH, so you found out, eh? Here I thought the biddy would take ages. Bali Yuyu mocked. Mei Sanga's ears twitched, clenching her fists. She knew the girl was more than she looked, and winning would not be easy. She couldn't put her in her place. Zhuo Fan laughed. I'll give you all the explanations you want for last time. The real issue is now. I represent the demonic emperor, but you're just keeping me at the door? Huh, and what of it? Devil Mountain's newest servant only knows how to abuse his status. Ha ha, Mei Sangu, how is it any different from you? Zhuo Fan was grave. Being the demonic emperor's representative isn't anything great, but that's not for you to say, since you're not worthy. I'm the demonic emperor's representative, here to see the Ruby Cloud sect leader for a deal. Only your sect leader can send me away, for she is the Ruby Cloud sect. Senior Aunt May, are you perhaps that representative? Isn't this a power play? Did the enchanting empress die? Why you? Mei Sangu's face twitched in anger, ready to explode. She wanted nothing more than to flatten him under her heel, but the only option she had was to bottle up her fury. Not only was Bali Yuyu an unknown guard that she had no confidence winning against, Zhuo Fan was, unfortunately, right? He was the demonic emperor's representative, and this involved the relations between Devil Mountain and the Ruby Cloud sect. She had no right to take charge here. What a darn shame. A bone-tempering bug had such power, but not her. Mei Sanga's anger flared once more. Dealing with Zhuo Fan was like losing 5,000 years of her lifespan.